Chapter 642. Well, be careful, Wang Yao said. The Sun family's power in Dao is far greater than you think. He has already spent 50 million to find a person. It's enough to make people crazy. As long as there were enough benefits, a considerable number of people would definitely take risks. Okay, I know, Wang Yao said. The man in a suit and leather shoes left the room. After he went out, his face became gloomy and ugly. He really doesn't know what's good for him, he whispered. The reason why he helped, in addition to returning the favor, was that he was afraid. He had seen Sun Jingrong's means. Sun Jingrong's ability to use poison was simply amazing. He now felt that he was most likely poisoned by Sun Jingrong. If the young man in the room had an accident, he might not be able to live. So he had to cooperate with Sun Jingrong as much as possible to ensure his safety. He wanted the person in the room to die more than anyone else. On the other side of the door in the room, the man sat by the bed, using the curtain as his body, looking at the street outside. With a muffled groan, his body began to twitch. It seemed that he was in some unspeakable pain. He gritted his teeth and let out a low, beast-like growl. He tightly grasped the wooden table beside him. With a crisp crack, the solid wood in his hand turned into powder. He curled up on the ground in pain. After a long time, the pain slowly subsided. He lay on the floor, moved a few times, and slowly got up. Drip! Blood dripped onto the floor from under the hood. It was a strange dark red, as if it was a mixture of blood and ink. Cough! He reached out to wipe the blood from the corner of his mouth. He sighed. I can't wait that long. It was late at night. Dao was already bustling. The night was not over. A black shadow was walking on the street. It didn't take long for him to stop. In front of him was a high-end villa residential area. This was the most high-end residential area in Dao. The people who lived here were the most powerful people in Dao. In such a residential area, the security force was naturally extremely tight. The residents who live here were all known by the professionally trained security guards. To enter, there were the most basic passes, such as a door card. There were also security guards patrolling 24 hours a day. It was not easy to enter this residential area. A moment later, a man in black entered the residential area. He keenly avoided the patrol team and the cameras. The residential area was built along the mountain, and the villa at the highest point was also the most luxurious place in the area. In the end, the man stood outside the villa. The door was locked. Woof, woof, woof. A dog was barking. He walked around the villa. There's someone outside. In the villa, a bodyguard discovered a man wandering outside. I'll go take a look. Wait, don't go alone. Go in a group of 3. The 3 bodyguards went out of the door and came to the place where the surveillance camera was looking at. In the end, they found nothing. There's clearly someone here. In the villa. Master, he's here. Oh, why don't you leave quickly? Don't worry, Elder Lin. He won't come in. This time, he's just testing us, Sun Jingrong said with certainty. What if he comes in? It's better if you come in. You can solve this problem once and for all. The black-clothed man entered the courtyard. Woof, woof. Before the fierce dog could get close, it fell to the ground a few meters away, twitching nonstop. Sun Jingrong. A low voice came from under the hood. It sounded like a demon from hell. He's coming in. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Something flew out from the dark. It was a bow and arrow. Guns were prohibited, but bows and arrows were not. At least, the management was not that strict. In fact, the power of bows and arrows was not small at all. They could also kill people. The black shadow was quickly dodging. His speed was very fast. It was unbelievably fast. He was like an ape. No, he was even more agile than an ape. Almost all the space was mist. Dong, dong, dong. A bow and arrow hit him, but made a dull sound. It was like hitting a hardwood. Then it was bounced off. That's right. The sharp arrow was directly bounced off. It's useless. Damn it. Dodge. A person walked out with 2 things in his hands. Guns, 2 guns, guns with silencers. Poof, poof, poof. Sparks flew. Under the illumination of the lights, although the intruder's speed was very fast, he was still not faster than the bullets. Several bullets hit him, but he did not seem to be affected at all. He was still moving quickly. Even the guns were useless. For a moment, Everyone was a little dumbfounded. It was at this moment that he had arrived in front of everyone. Push him away. It was a calm and powerful voice. Buzz. Two knife lights shone in the night sky. Click. One hand grabbed the blade, and the other pierced into the intruder's heart. It was over. No, the blade was blocked by something. It did not even pierce through his skin. Soft armor? The intruder retreated quickly with the knife. Cough. The man in black coughed twice. How do you feel? What do you mean? Do you feel that your body has gone soft? What nonsense! The intruder shook his head hard. There were double images in front of him. He blinked hard. Oh no, I've been poisoned. Uncle Lin, don't come over. I've been poisoned. His body was really soft. He could not even hold the blade in his hand. I've been very careful, but I've still been poisoned. He knew the methods of the intruder and was very careful. He tried not to come into contact with the intruder as much as possible. He did not come into contact with the intruder, but he was still poisoned for no reason. Or did I underestimate the intruder? Clang! The blade fell to the ground. Master, you go first. I'll stop him, the intruder said. Buzz. At this moment, the siren sounded. Whoosh! The man in black did not retreat. Instead, he rushed forward. There's still 2 people left. Get rid of them. Poof! A cloud of powder appeared. Then, he felt a dazzling pain. It was as if there were flames burning his eyes. Lime powder, it seems to be useful. Buzz. A knife light pierced into his body. It encountered a very hard block. What is this? Buzz. There were flying insects attacking. Flamethrower. Buzz. There was a flame like a dragon. Go. In the night, another person appeared. He was dressed in a long coat and a cloak that covered his face. He took away the intruder whose eyes had been temporarily damaged by the lime powder. He was very fast. He disappeared into the night sky with a few jumps. There's one more. Master. Buzz. The police car had arrived outside the courtyard. Uncle Lin, go and greet the police, the man in black said. Okay, the man in black said. Master Gu, I'll have to trouble you here, the man in black said. Okay. Beside Sun Jungrong stood a bald man in his 40s. He had a medium build, soft eyes, and a kind face. He looked at Hao, who had fallen to the ground, and said, It's poison from Yaojiang. Can you cure it? Sun Jungrong asked. Although my ability is slightly worse than Wu San's, this kind of poison can't stop me, the man said. Thank you, Sun Jungrong said. In the end, the police did not come in. The people in the courtyard were carried into the room. Hao with the knife was rescued, but he did not have much strength in his body. Master, why is he invulnerable? Looking at the replay of the surveillance video, they found that neither bullets nor blades seemed to be able to break through his body's defense. Is it soft armor? Sun Jungrong asked. No, it's skin, the man surnamed Gu said. Skin? Sun Jungrong asked. Yes, this is a secret method, the man said. Soak your body in a special potion, which can make your skin magically change and become extremely tough and invulnerable. Is it so magical? Sun Jungrong asked. This method is indeed magical, but you have to endure pain that ordinary people can't imagine, the man in black said. According to what you said about the last time he fought with the master and disciple, he seemed to be a little impatient, so there must be hidden dangers. To strengthen the body with medicine, first the skin, then the bones, and then the internal organs, the man in black said. He has only practiced the skin now. When the bullets hit his body, even if they were blocked, his internal organs and bones were damaged. Uncle Lin, you go. Understood. In an abandoned villa in Dao, there was a fire. There were 2 men in black. One was sitting on the ground with his legs crossed. The other was patting his back with a special technique. Cough, cough. He spat out a large mouthful of blood. Chapter 643. The blood made a sound as it sprayed into the flames, and then it emitted a unique smell. It was a bit fishy, like fish that had been let out in the summer. Thank you, Senior, the young man said. Fortunately, I came in time, the man in the long coat said. Otherwise, you would have died there. You have only been practicing for a short time, the young man in the long coat said. The medicine has entered your skin and muscles. It has not yet reached your internal organs and spirit. Let me help you heal first. The injured young man took off his clothes, revealing his upper body. Under the light of the fire, it was vaguely visible that his skin was a strange greenish-black color. There were scars in many places, as if he had been scalded by boiling water. There were several wounds on his chest and abdomen. They were bleeding very slowly. The man who came later took out a small round medicine box and opened it. There was dark green ointment inside. He took out a little and applied it to the wound. The place where the ointment was applied to the wound soon had blood oozing out. It stopped bleeding in an instant. The old man's knife was full of strength, the young man said. His martial arts cultivation is not weak. You have injured your internal organs. You must recuperate. Otherwise, it will leave a root cause. Senior, I want to try again, the young man reluctantly said. Your medicine is in a hurry to succeed, the young man said. The foundation is unstable. Now the toxins are deposited in your body. With the master's secret medicine suppressing them, there won't be a problem for a while. However, it will definitely not work for a long time. You will go on the wrong path. What's more, you are injured now. Adding fuel to the fire, you must go back as soon as possible. Senior, I can't wait. Well, I will go with you. The young man thought for a moment. Take this medicine first, the young man said. There are only 7 days. Whether you succeed or not, you must go back with me. Yes, the young man said. With a crackling sound, the flames burned and eventually turned into ashes. It was dawn. The abandoned villa was empty. There was not a single person in sight. In a villa somewhere in Tao. Master, is Hao okay? He is fine. He is out of danger. Who is the man who came later? Uncle Lin asked. The other party's movements were extremely fast, and it was obvious that he had left some leeway. His kung fu was probably not much worse than Uncle Lin's. He was the other party's strong support and a big enemy. I'm afraid it's one of the secret sects in Miaojiang. The old man with the surname Gu said. Secret sect? Master, what do you mean? I vaguely saw something hanging from his waist. That should be the logo of the Valley of Thousands of Medicine in Miaojiang. Valley of Thousands of Medicine? None of them had heard of this name before. Hee, it's normal that you don't know this name. I also heard it by chance. Only then did I know that there is such a sect in Miaojiang. Speaking of a person, you should know him, Medicine King Wu-san. Sun Jingrong asked in surprise. Of course we know that. His reputation is like thunder in our ears. Is he from a Valley of Thousands of Medicine? If that was the case, then they would be in big trouble. The King of Medicine had an amazing reputation in Miaojiang, and his influence was amazing. Such a person was really not suitable to be an enemy. More or less, he had been there for a while, so he could be considered half a disciple of the Valley of Thousands of Medicine. So powerful, Uncle Lin exclaimed. Yes, actually, the outside world knows very little about them. Rather than calling them a sect, it would be better to call them a relatively isolated village. It's just that the rules there are very strict, and they don't like to communicate with the outside world. They are good at using poison. Excellent. Sun Jingrong took a deep breath. He didn't know how the young man who escaped that day was involved with the secret sect in Miaojiang, but it was undoubtedly a huge threat. A dangerous person and a dangerous person with a dangerous person with a strong backer were on a completely different level. Thank you, Master. You are welcome, Uncle Lin said. It's better to be careful. Although these secret sects rarely come into the world, many of them are eccentric and difficult to deal with. After Master Gu went to rest, Sun Jingrong called Uncle Lin to the study. Master, this matter is a bit troublesome. That Zhao Yunghou must die, Sun Jingrong coldly said. As Master Gu said just now, we have to be prepared to be enemies with that place. Go and inquire about that place, Uncle Lin said. Be careful. I'll do it right away. Sigh, it's a pity that Gu Chunchi doesn't know martial arts. Yes, I saw that the person who came last night had profound martial arts. Good at using poison and good at martial arts, Uncle Lin said. It's really tricky. In the underground of Tao, there were 50 million hidden flowers. This was not a small number. Moreover, they were just looking for a person to provide information. Once they caught the person, it would be done regardless of life or death. Brother, I heard that Sun Jingrong said that the hidden flowers will increase, Uncle Lin said. Whether it increases or not, we have to hurry, Uncle Lin said. Is your information reliable? Absolutely reliable. Kill him as soon as you see him, regardless of life or death. In an underground parking lot in Dao, what's going on? How did these people find us? Two men in long coats looked at the three people on the ground. This was already the third wave in the morning. They were like maggots in the tarsal bone, inexhaustible. Sun Jingrong, that old thing, said a hidden flower. As long as you find me, regardless of life or death, 50 million. Wow, Junior, you are so valuable, Uncle Lin said. Hey, I have an idea. What idea? Don't tell me you want to tie me up and send me there. Exactly, Uncle Lin said. Think about it. Your enemy is the richest man here. He is heavily guarded. You saw it last night. With such security, it is naturally difficult to get close to him. Since he has said a hidden flower, why don't you take advantage of this opportunity to take the initiative to go there? Well, that's an idea, Uncle Lin said. As they were talking, another wave of people came over. Hurry up. Their traces have been discovered. With the help of the current network monitoring equipment, people from both sides of the law were looking for them. It seems that this plan is not going to work, Uncle Lin said. Let's go to his house again tonight. It must be heavily guarded, waiting for us to go, Zhao Youngho said. Aren't you unwilling to give up? Let's go and have a look, Uncle Lin said. I brought something special. In a mountain village hundreds of miles away, on Nanshan Hill, there were some clouds and mist. The trees on the mountain could be vaguely seen. A man and a dog stood on the top of the mountain. San Xian, this mountain is indeed high, Wang Yao said to San Xian. He had found the rubbing of the rocks at the border of Nanshan Hill and Dongshan Hill. It was caused by the elevation of the terrain. During this period, he had felt that the mountain under his feet had changed from time to time. Now that he thought about it carefully, it was growing. So far, it had grown more than 30 feet. Such a speed was really amazing. Could it be related to the spirit gathering battle array? In the morning, there were many people in the clinic. There were 7 patients and their family members. This time, they were a bit noisy. It was because one of the patients was seriously ill and had a severe headache. Later, his son, who was tall and strong, wanted to cut the line as soon as he came in. Naturally, some people were unhappy with such a practice. They had been waiting for a while. Why did he have to cut the line as soon as he came in? Therefore, they argued in the clinic. The man was tall and strong, but he still wanted to be an adult. Assistant, Wang Yao said. The man stopped. After all, he had come to seek medical treatment. Wait for me. Line up or leave, Wang Yao said coldly. Doctor, my father has a severe headache. Can you take a look at him first? There's no big problem with that person. I'll take care of him. Are you the doctor, or am I? Your father's illness is not serious for a while. Wait. Well, what? The man took a deep breath and held back his anger. He sat in a chair and waited. His father was old and had a bad headache. His eyebrows were knitted together. Dad, please bear with it. Treat this old man first. I can wait, a middle-aged woman said. Oh, thank you. The old man's headache was damp and hot. Wang Yao stopped the headache with just one injection. He then prescribed 2 decoctions to relieve heat and dampness. Go back and take them. Rest more. Oh, okay. Thank you, doctor. I'm sorry. The man met the people who had just quarreled outside the door and took the initiative to apologize. Forget it. The man waved his hand and did not say anything more. After everyone left in the morning, Wang Yao was alone in the clinic. I have to think of a way. Chapter 644. He entered according to the serial number. It was simple and effective. He found a piece of wood and cut it into the size of a matchbox. Then, he polished it a little to remove the wood stubble. Then, he used a knife to carve the word medicine on it. The reverse side was a number. He made a total of 20 such small signs. That was enough. He could only see one patient at a time, and he could take turns. He began to use the wooden signs after they were made. He took the wooden signs and saw patients according to the order. It was similar to calling a number. The patients quickly became familiar with the process. The weather was relatively cool in the past few days. The highest temperature was not more than 25 degrees, which was the most comfortable time. The weather was also very suitable for going out to play. On this day, a few young people came to the mountain village. There were 3 people in a car. They looked like they were in their 20s with a foreign license plate. Is this the place? Yes. Where is it? Shishan. It's in the west. If it doesn't work, can we ask? If it doesn't work, we'll be exposed. Let's go and have a look. Recently, people in the village often came to see Wang Yao, so he didn't take them seriously. The 3 young men followed the streets of the mountain village and went up the west mountain by themselves. Hey, what are you doing? At the foot of Shishan, they met an old man who went out to herd sheep. The old man saw that they were going up Shishan, so he asked, we're here to play. Play? Don't go up that mountain. It's dangerous up there. The old man pointed at Shishan. Everyone in the village knew that there was something terrible up there. Now, no one went up the mountain. The original land was also abandoned. Well, let's go somewhere else. These children, what's so fun in this mountain village? The old man drove the sheep away. The 3 young people took advantage of the time when he was not paying attention to turn into the woods and went up Shishan. Hey, what do you think this place of death looks like? Let's look for it. There were many cash crops, such as hawthorn and chestnut trees on the mountain. At this time, the branches and leaves were lush. It was particularly cool here. Caw, caw, caw. Several birds flew in the sky. Where is it? This mountain doesn't look big, but if you want to find a place that isn't big and doesn't have any special markings, it's really hard to find. Hey, look, that piece of land has a lot of lime powder. One of the sharp-eyed youths found a place. It was a crater filled with limestone powder. There was also a hole in the ground. Let's go take a look. The 3 youths walked into the hole. Around the hole, some dandelions and green bristlegrass were growing well. It can't be here, right? It's too small. I can't see anything special about it. I'll take a look in the afternoon. There were several exploratory holes in the pit, which were left behind by Wang Yao the other day. There is no sky. What's with these holes? It should be a rat hole down there, right? Die. How do I die? He really didn't understand. These young men were from Wei City. They had seen a piece of news on the internet saying that a death zone had appeared in a small village in Lianshan County in Hike City and caused a disturbance. Although it had been solved, the place was still sealed because of unknown risks. The few curious and bold young men discussed for a while and decided to take an adventure there together. So far, they were disappointed. Hey, is this it? No way. Is the news on the internet wrong? Is there a problem? No, I personally called a friend of mine who is from Lianshan County. He said there is such a thing. Is this it? Without any warning, a dog suddenly appeared and stared at the 3 people standing in the hole. Damn! The 3 people were startled. Go away! One of them shouted. The dog didn't leave. It just stood there quietly and stared at them. Damn it! It didn't leave until one of the young men picked up a stone from the ground and hit it. Let's go. It's really boring. Yes. The 3 people were rarely disappointed. They were ready to leave. Ouch, ouch. One of the young men suddenly shouted. What's wrong? Nothing. I think I was stung by something, he said. He suddenly felt a sharp pain in his ankle. It was as if he had been pricked by a needle. If there is nothing else, let's go quickly. It's a wasted trip, the young leader said. Anyway, we are already here. Let's walk around and see if there is any other interesting place here. Okay. The 3 young men went down along the west hill and went south. There was nothing special about the soil, crops, and plants. Ouch! One of the young men slowly fell behind. He suddenly had a terrible headache. He had no strength. His chest was tight, and it was difficult to breathe. I can't. I have to take a rest, he said to his 2 friends in front of him. His voice was too low. He found a stone by the side of the road and sat down to rest. He took out the water bottle and wanted to drink some water. Ouch! The scene in front of him suddenly flashed. His 2 companions found that he was missing. They hurried back to find him. They found that he had fallen to the ground and passed out. What's going on? They were stunned. They hurriedly carried him on their backs. They called an ambulance and ran to the mountain village. After running for a short time, they were out of breath. What's wrong, young man? They happened to meet a villager who kindly asked, I don't know what happened to my friend. He suddenly fainted. There's a clinic in our village. The doctor there is very skilled. You can go and have a look. Oh, okay. Thank you. After knowing the location of the clinic, they hurriedly rushed over. Several cars were parked outside the clinic. The people waiting to see the doctor were either standing or sitting inside. Wang Yao was giving acupuncture to a patient. His legs were sometimes numb. He felt like he had lost contact with his body. After a few needles, he immediately felt much better. Bang! The door was knocked open. Two young men rushed in. Doctor, save him. Wait a moment, Wang Yao said to the man who was giving him acupuncture. Ah, it's more important to save him first. Put him down. What happened? Wang Yao asked as he checked the patient. We just went to the West Hill. Not long after we went down the hill, they became like this, the young leader said. West Hill? Why did you go there? I was curious. I wanted to have a look. Where exactly did you go? It's a depression filled with lime. At this point, these young men didn't dare to hide anything and said whatever was on their mind. They really did not know the immensity of heaven and earth. Wang Yao understood that the patient was most likely bitten by a poisonous insect or mouse. By the way, when we were on the hill, he said his leg was stung by something. Wang Yao immediately checked his legs. He found an obvious wound on his left ankle. The surrounding area had turned blue and black. What a powerful poison. Wait a moment. Wang Yao went to the next room. He had half a leaf of detoxification grass and a bowl of detoxification soup. He drank a bowl. Let him lie down for a while. After checking his pulse and making sure there was no problem, Wang Yao continued to treat the patient. After about half an hour, the young man in the hospital bed woke up. Hi, Ba, how do you feel? Where am I? In a clinic in the mountain village. You have been poisoned. Doctor, is my friend okay? His life is not in danger, but he needs to rest for a while. Why did you go to the West Hill? I saw on the internet that there are dangerous places there, so I wanted to have a look. How much is it? $1,000, Wang Yao said. Ah, the two young men were shocked after hearing this. It's really expensive. Is it expensive? Wang Yao asked. Not expensive, not expensive. We'll pay. The two young men paid the fee and left without their friends back. I say, isn't this a scam? What kind of medicine is so expensive? As long as highball is fine. Yes, I'll pay you, the poisoned young man with a pale face said. At this moment, the ambulance arrived. Where is he? Where is he? How about we go to the hospital for a checkup? Chapter 645. Is that really necessary? Yes, it is. The three of them went to the hospital in Lianshan County and had another checkup. The result of the checkup was that they needed to be hospitalized for observation. They decisively refused the doctor's advice. Even if they wanted to be hospitalized, they would go back to the hospital instead of staying there. Look, I told you there was no need to come. Let's go. Sai, what a bummer this time. In a mountain village, Wang Yao was still thinking about what had just happened. He was bitten by insects in Shishan, but his condition was different. Could it be that it was a different kind of insect? It shouldn't be. Another day passed. The night gradually fell, and the earth was shrouded in darkness. In Tao, in the dark night, there were two people. Senior brother, I feel that something is not right. Don't worry. So what if it is wrong? A man in black took out a gourd. Look at my baby. What is this? He opened the stopper on the gourd. Buzz. A large number of flying insects flew out of it. In a villa, far away, although the Valley of Thousands of Medicine has the word medicine, it is actually more famous for its poisonous insects. The use of poisonous insects and poisons is superb. It is impossible to guard against. Master, do you have a way? I have something here that can be burned to avoid all poisonous insects. Buzz. The insects as small as mosquitoes struggled to get into the courtyard. Plop, plop. The big men standing in the light and in the dark all fell down without knowing why. They are here, a man in his 40s in the house said. Thank you, master. Don't mention it. Let's go. In the dark night, the two men jumped into the courtyard. What a big house, one of them exclaimed. He lived in the mountain most of the time. It was also a bamboo house with 2 floors, but it was not as luxurious as this one. Sometimes I envy them, he said with a smile. Brother, be careful. He is as cunning as a fox. Well, I know. Creak. The door opened. Go. Buzz. A few more insects flew out. They didn't fly for long before they lost their direction like headless flies. Well, insect repellent incense. I didn't expect him to get such an item. The man just smelled it and noticed the abnormality in the room. Maybe he hired an expert. Master? How high is he? Should we split up? No, stay together. If there's a problem, we can take care of each other. He's here. Schwa, the originally dark space, suddenly lit up, and it was that kind of dazzling light. Flashbang. The two of them were blinded by the bright light for a short period of time. Damn it. Puff, puff, puff. There were muffled sounds. The two of them covered their heads and quickly retreated. The bullets hit their bodies. Let's go. The two of them did not hesitate at all. After exiting the room, they turned around and left without any hesitation. You want to leave? It's not that easy. Here, Sun Jingrong had already prepared for a long time, specifically for a possible sneak attack at night. In Dao City, he was not just rich. He could get a lot of things and do a lot of things. Even if these things might be illegal, some people would still choose to turn a blind eye to it. Moreover, in this world, those rich people lived dishonorable lives and did many illegal things. The large net covered his head. Bullets kept flying in the air. There were crossbows, and only grenades were left. In fact, Sun Jingrong did have something, but he would not use it unless it was the last moment, especially when he was in his own home. The two of them were more difficult to deal with than he had imagined. They actually dodged the large net. There was a blue arc of light. It was a high-voltage stun gun. Senior, you go first. I'll cover you. Retreat. Bang. A ball of light suddenly lit up in the dark night. It was a green light with a unique smell. Don't breathe. Don't breathe. The smoke is poisonous. Someone shouted. The two intruders had already arrived outside the courtyard. Goot Chunchi. One of the two of them actually knew the person who came to help Sun Jingrong and shouted, "You're courting death. Miao Qing Feng. How dare you leave the valley?" The two of them actually knew each other. Hey, Sun Jingrong, don't think that you can be safe with such a half-baked guy, the man said. We'll be back. In the dark night, the two of them just left. After a while, a large number of police cars came with sirens. A strict search was carried out in Dao again. All foreign personnel and vehicles entering and leaving the city were checked. Master, do you know that person? I know more than that, Gu Chunchi said. There was some resentment in his voice. It seemed that he had a lot of hatred for that person. His name is Miao Qingfeng, Gu Chunchi said. He is a disciple of the Valley of Thousands of Medicine. When he left the valley a few years ago, he killed several people. I happened to meet him and fought with him. His words were simple, but Sun Jingrong could tell that it was not a simple matter. There must have been a big grudge between them. Master, do you also know martial arts? No. Speaking of this, Gu Chunchi raised his eyebrows. What had happened the last time was because he didn't know martial arts. Although he knew medical skills, detoxification, he had become a burden. He had caused two of his friends to die, protecting him. This was what he cared about the most in the past few years. The person who had killed his friends was Miao Qingfeng. As the saying went, when enemies met, their eyes would turn red. He had wanted this person dead for a long time. However, after that incident, he returned to the Valley of Thousands of Medicine. He had watched the valley from a distance and inquired about it. Although it looked very ordinary, he had heard people say that it was terrible. There had been powerful people who had tried to behave atrociously in it. As a result, they did not even know how they died. Since he has come to Dao, you should not let go of this opportunity, Gu Chunchi said. Once he returns to the valley, you can no longer take revenge. Okay, Sun Jingrong nodded. People who dared to provoke him never had a good ending. Double the hidden flower. 100 million. What kind of concept was this? It was enough for many people to live a lifetime without worrying about food and clothing. In fact, in this country, 99% of people could not earn so much money in their lifetime. After hearing the news, the underground forces in Dao went crazy. Put down all the business at hand and find these two people for me. For a time, the wind and clouds were surging. The sky above Dao was covered with dark clouds. Chief Sun, the security situation in Dao is not very good recently. Gu Chunchi said. Yes, I have had 2 waves of assassins come to kill me, Gu Chunchi said. I don't know if Director Su has any clues. At this point, the director didn't say anything else. Chapter 646. In this place, in this city, Su Zhengrong's words were more effective than his own. It was understandable that Su Zhengrong was grumpy and angry. After all, they had just experienced 2 attacks, and there was no progress on his side. He came here today for 2 purposes. First, he wanted to tell Su Zhengrong about the latest progress. Second, he wanted Su Zhengrong to restrain the many underground forces in Dao. After the hidden money of 100 million, it was like throwing a grenade into a pot of oil. It had an explosive effect. As an old man in the public security system, he was very clear about the temperament of those people. A considerable number of people could do anything for money. As long as there were enough benefits, it was not a problem for them to betray their relatives. It was this hidden money that had caused the public security in Dao to be very chaotic recently. Money can make ghosts push millstones. People like Su Zhengrong were ghosts who had smelled the scent of money. Before he came, he had thought that this might be the result, so he was not too disappointed. Then I will leave. Sorry to disturb you, Su Zhengrong said. Uncle Lin, see Director Su out, Sun Zhengrong said. Sun Zhengrong's mood was quite bad. 2 attacks, no, 3 attacks. There were only 2 people on the other side. So far, they had no news of any traces of the other side. This was something he had never encountered before. If you don't kill the snake, you will be bitten. The enemy was not terrible. What was terrible was not knowing the details and means of the enemy. In an abandoned warehouse somewhere in Dao. Senior, are you all right? Sun Zhengrong asked. Cough, cough, cough. I'm fine. Blood oozed from the corner of the man's mouth. Not long ago, in the battle in the villa, the sudden explosion of the flash grenade caught them off guard. Because of that, he suffered internal injuries in his internal organs. Fortunately, his internal organs had been trained in a special way, so this was not a big problem. We can't stay here anymore, Sun Zhengrong said. I know. I will go back with you, Sun Zhengrong said. Where there is life, there is hope, Sun Zhengrong said. The 2 of them were ready to leave Dao City. However, their departure was not smooth sailing, because Dao City had gone crazy over the 100 million yuan. A large number of people tried their best to find them. In this world, no matter how difficult it was, as long as you put your heart into it, you would succeed sooner or later. In a place like Dao, it was not that difficult to find the 2 people. Their whereabouts had been confirmed before, and if there was a first time, there would be a second time. Then, those people were like flies that smelled feces. Although this analogy was not very elegant, it was appropriate. Of course, flies alone could not kill a tiger, but they were disgusting. These people are disgusting. Miao Qingfeng wanted to kill Gu Chunchi, but he restrained himself. His whereabouts had been exposed. Gu Chunchi knew his real identity. If he couldn't control his emotions and started a massacre here, even his master wouldn't be able to protect him. Moreover, it was very likely that this incident would bring irreversible negative effects to his hometown and sect. It was a peaceful society now. You couldn't do whatever you wanted. It was a society ruled by law. Once their whereabouts were exposed, they would be in trouble. No one had calculated the number of people who made a living in Dao City, but there were definitely hundreds and thousands of them. Gu Chunchi and Gu Chunchi were injured and burned. Among the first wave of people who had tracked them, someone had brought a Molotov cocktail. This kind of thing was very lethal. Although it was not an exaggeration to say that they were invulnerable, they were not really invulnerable to fire and water. So, Miao Qingfeng was furious. He attacked, and 3 people died. The death of these 3 people made the people following them realize that it was not easy to earn 100 million yuan, so they became even crazier. Gu Chunchi and Gu Chunchi struggled to get rid of the first wave of people. Phew, so tired. Miao Qingfeng was not as calm as before. He had underestimated these people. These people, who he looked down on, also underestimated the power of money. No wonder they say that money makes the world go round. The Public Security Department of Dao City had issued an arrest warrant. Because the number of deaths was increasing, These two people were classified as highly dangerous. There were photos of them. There were photos of bus stations, train stations, airports, and other crowded places. It's more troublesome than I thought. Gu Chunchi and Gu Chunchi had disguised themselves when they appeared. For people like them, it was a piece of cake. Now, we need to use our real names to buy tickets, Gu Chunchi said. I'm afraid we can't go out by normal means. If normal means did not work, they could only use abnormal means. They hitched a ride in a truck and left Ao City quietly. Master, they should have left Ao City, Gu Chunchi said. What's the situation there? Gu Chunchi asked. They have already bribed one person, Gu Chunchi said. The people there are not solid. Zhao Yongho has only been there for 3 months. According to the time, he should have gone there not long after he escaped from the village. Miao Qingfeng once let go of a murder case. Very good, Gu Chunchi said. As long as there was a shortage, it would be much easier. What's the name of Gu Chunchi? Gu Chunchi asked. Miaoxi River and Miao Qingfeng are uncle and nephew, Gu Chunchi said. That's close. Gu Chunchi asked. Yes, Miaoxi River helped him solve the murder case last time, Gu Chunchi said. Because of that, he was grounded for a year. You can handle this matter, Gu Chunchi said. He came here to cause trouble. Even if he escapes to the end of the world, he has to pay the price. Yes, Gu Chunchi said. In a mountain village hundreds of miles away, Zheng Shixiang pushed Zheng Weijun for a walk in the village. Uncle, I heard that the people in this village are going to move out. Zheng Weijun asked. Yes, a terrible infectious disease broke out in this village not long ago, Gu Chunchi said. The origin was on Shishan Hill. I heard that a person had an accident there 2 days ago. The people are afraid, so they want to move out. The Sun family has given them a lot of preferential policies. More than half of the houses in this mountain village will belong to the Sun family. I think this place is quite good, Zheng Weijun said. Well, why don't we buy an old house here? Zheng Weijun asked. Okay, Zheng Weijun said. They also had a big family business, even more than the Sun family. Spending so little money to buy an old house was just pocket money. Dr. Wang has been very busy recently, Zheng Weijun asked. He looked at the cars outside. Yes, there have been more patients who have come to see him recently, Zheng Weijun said. In the past few days, Wang Yao had been very busy. He had been busy since he got up in the morning and went down the hill until it was dark in the afternoon. He had more than 30 patients a day. There are too many people like this. One person is really busy. Wang Yao thought about it and set another rule. At most, he could see 20 patients a day according to number. Of course, nothing was absolute, except for people whose lives were in danger. Wang Yao's reputation gradually spread from the nearby towns to all parts of Lianshan County, and then to other neighboring counties and cities outside. Of course, it wasn't spread to every corner to the extent that everyone knew about it. As his reputation spread, more and more people came to see him for treatment. This was a complementary effect. It was just like how the more delicious the food in a restaurant was, the more people would go there. Then, when the news spread, more and more people would come to see him. With more people coming to see the doctor, the number of people in the mountain village was decreasing. More and more people began to move out. There are insects in Shishan Hill. They bite people and they die. This matter had been spread among the villagers. Yao, are the insects in Shishan Hill the kind you mentioned last time? Zhang Xiuying asked during lunch. Yes. Are they not extinct? Zheng Weijun asked. No, Wang Yao said. It's very difficult to completely kill those things. Although they were not completely killed, there should not be many left. Then, Shishan Hill will be abandoned. It's not that terrible. After a while, I'll plant some special plants, and Shishan Hill can be used again, Wang Yao said. This morning, a man in his 30s came to the clinic, took a number, and lined up. It's you. Sorry to trouble you again. Wang Yao knew the man. He had a deep impression because he had a scar on his face. It could still be seen from the corner of his mouth to his ear. It was a bit like the clown in the famous American movie Batman, but his scar was only on one side. Your injury should be fine, Wang Yao said. Wang Yao saw that there was no problem with his complexion. His body should be healthy at this time. He was a person who practiced kung fu, so his qi and blood were more vigorous than usual. It's not me. It's my sister. Where's she? She didn't come, but I brought her case. Can you take a look? Okay. Wang Yao took the case and read it carefully. Chapter 647. The patient's problem was in the liver. The liver was failing so badly that it could hardly function as it should. The liver played a very important role in the human body, but it was a silent contribution. Even if there was a little problem, it would not complain about pain or tiredness. But once you obviously noticed it, the problem was usually very serious. 12 years old. Yes. Where is she? In the provincial hospital in G, the man said. He had seen Wang Yao's magic the last time, so he came again to bring his sister's medical record. His sister had been receiving treatment in G City, but the effect was not ideal. Her condition was only maintained and did not deteriorate. You can take time to bring her here to have a look, Wang Yao said. Can you treat her? You can give it a try, Wang Yao said with a smile. The price is not cheap. No problem. Thank you. The man named Zhong Luchuan asked for a phone number and left. The next patient continued to see the doctor. Recently, there had been a lot of people who had thrombosis coming to see the doctor. There was almost one every day. Of course, there were also people who came for a follow-up. Acupuncture, massage, and prescription of medicine were all 3 steps. It was just a simple 3-step procedure. For those with mild symptoms, they would see results on the same day. For those with severe symptoms, they could obviously improve within a week. This was a remarkable thing. At least these patients dared to imagine it before. With this disease, they would basically lose their ability to work. It was very difficult to ensure that they could take care of themselves. All the patients who came here for treatment were cured. Some even started to work again. What was a famous doctor with amazing medical skills? What was a miracle doctor who could cure diseases that were thought to be untreatable? Wang Yao was gradually being called a miracle doctor by some people. When Wang Yao heard someone say that in front of him for the first time, he replied, "I don't dare. I'm a pharmacist." In fact, anyone could bear the title of a miracle doctor. With the continuous use of medicine, Zheng Weijuan's condition was rapidly improving. He was now able to slowly stand up and take 2 steps. Life is so good. This was what he had been saying for the past few days. That afternoon, he went to the clinic. Wang Yao had just finished seeing the last patient. He had wanted to come for a long time, but Wang Yao had been busy these days, so he didn't want to disturb him. Are you done? Yes, I just finished seeing the last patient. Please come in. Zheng Weijun and Zheng Shixiang entered the clinic. Do you feel uncomfortable anywhere? No, it's very good. I can feel my body getting better almost every day, Zheng Weijun said. That's good. Now, your body's source energy has begun to recover on its own. Most of the toxins in your body have also been removed. You must pay attention to what I told you before. You must maintain a good attitude. Yeah, is there anything else? Well, there are other things that... Zheng Weijun hesitated. I'm here to express my gratitude. Ah, you don't have to be so polite, Wang Yao said with a smile. Dr. Wang, you still can't understand my feelings at this time, Zheng Weijun said. It's like I've been reborn. My life was originally vague, gray, and without any brilliance. I even gave up and thought that the rest of my life might be like this. However, your treatment has let me see the sunshine and hope again. I'm only 24 years old this year. I think I can live for decades. This is the first time I have such a thought since I got this disease. It's important to change your attitude. Maintaining an optimistic and positive attitude will help you recover, Wang Yao said with a smile. So, please allow me to express my gratitude in a special way. What way? Well, I owe you a favor, Zheng Weijun said. As long as you ask, I'll try my best to do whatever I can do. It was a promise without a clear content. It was empty and big, but also very tempting. Wang Yao just smiled after hearing that. Okay, I got it. From today on, Dr. Wang is the Zheng family's distinguished guest. If you need any help from the Zheng family, please don't hesitate to ask, Zheng Shixiang, who was behind Zheng Weijun, said. Haha. Wang Yao just smiled. After exchanging a few more words, the uncle and nephew from the Zheng family took their leave. Interesting. Wang Yao packed up and went home. Thousands of miles away in Miaojiang, there was a valley deep in the mountains. The forest was green, birds were singing, and flowers were fragrant. Old houses and buildings were hidden among the trees and flowers. It was like a paradise. In a wooden house, there was an antique bronze stove. A unique smoke was floating out. Uncle, Miao Qing Feng and Zhao Youngho knelt on the ground respectfully. You caused trouble again? Yes, I killed someone, Miao Qing Feng said. Brother broke the rules because of me. Please punish me, Zhao Youngho said. Is it because of your master? Yes. You are too hasty, a man with a pale face sitting on a stone platform said. You two are to practice in isolation for a year. You're not allowed to go out. Yes, master. Yes, uncle. The two of them left the bamboo house. Thank you, brother. Zhao Youngho thanked him from the bottom of his heart. We are brothers. Don't mention it. Miao Qing Feng waved his hand. It's just a practice in isolation for a year. It sounded nice, but it was actually closed. Uncle, you are doing it for our own good. Zhao Youngho said. The flame of revenge in his heart was not extinguished. It was just not as strong as when he first arrived in Dao. It was all hidden. It was like flowing magma. Instead of weakening, it became hotter and scarier. You have to practice well in a year, Miao Qing Feng said. You have to practice hard. You also need to practice your internal organs. That is a first-class rich family. They can invite any capable person. The young man you mentioned last time, who is like an immortal on earth, may appear again. Yes, I will follow your instructions. At the mention of that person, Zhao Youngho felt an inexplicable sense of urgency. Last time in the mountain village, the three of them were defeated in a moment. They did not have the slightest ability to resist. They were not a match for the young man. They had never met such an opponent. They had never thought they would meet such a person. According to your description, isn't that person more powerful than our master? Miao Qing Feng asked after hearing Zhao Youngho's description. Well, he is definitely not as good as uncle, Zhao Youngho said. In truth, his thoughts were the opposite. That young man's true abilities were probably above that of Miao Xia, who was known as an uncle. How can he have such a high level of cultivation at such a young age? Miao Qing Feng was not the only one who was puzzled. Anyone who knew Wang Yao's background was puzzled. In the afternoon, Wang Yao was treating patients in the clinic. An unexpected guest came to visit. Are you busy? Yes, there's still a few patients. Are you in a hurry? No hurry. I'll wait for you. Guo Jinghe sat quietly and waited, watching Wang Yao treat the patients who came to see him. It was not until after 5 p.m. that the last patient left. Well, what's the matter? Wang Yao asked. No hurry. Please take a rest first, Guo Jinghe said with a smile. The smile on his face was very comfortable. Go ahead. I'm not tired. What do you think of Xiaoxue? Guo Jinghe asked. Xiaoxue? Su Xiaoxue? Yes. She is a kind and beautiful girl, Wang Yao said. Well, do you like Xiaoxue? Or do you have special feelings for her? Wang Yao pondered for a moment. He didn't expect the young master of the Guo family to ask such a question. Yes, Wang Yao said directly. Do you like Xiaoxue? Yes. Is it because of her family? Guo Jinghe unconsciously sat up straight, as if he had entered a special state. No, it is because of her, Wang Yao said. He did not care about the so-called family at all. Sir, I also like Xiaoxue. I want to marry her, Guo Jinghe said. Do you want to marry her? I want to be with her, Wang Yao calmly said. As for marrying, he really did not think about it, at least not now. Chapter 648. Can you give up? Guo Jinghe asked. Hearing this, Wang Yao was stunned. What did he mean? You like someone, so you wanted to give up? Why? I really like Xiaoxue, Wang Yao said. Huh? Wang Yao shook his head with a smile. Interesting, very interesting, Wang Yao said. What kind of logic is this? What kind of thinking is this? Is this the son of a rich family? I'm sorry. Wang Yao was silent for a long time. I know. Sorry to bother you. Guo Jinghe got up and turned around. When he reached the door, he stopped. I'm really grateful to you for saving my life, but I won't give in on this matter. Okay, Wang Yao replied. I wish you peace and health. I will, Wang Yao said. He didn't know why, but he suddenly felt that the young man standing in front of him was a little annoying. He couldn't tell why. After leaving the clinic, Guozhenghe's face immediately became gloomy. Sir, it's really, huh? At this time, Zheng Weijun and Zheng Shixiang happened to come out for a walk. They saw him. This person? The moment he saw the two of them, Guozhenghe's face instantly brightened. He always looked like this when he faced anyone, at least on the surface. Bright and sunny. It was easy for people to have a good impression of him. He smiled at the two people and nodded. Then he drove away. Uncle, did I see wrong just now? No. What a wonderful expression, Zheng Shixiang said. What a terrible young man. Is his gloomy look because of Dr. Wang? I hope not otherwise. Zheng Shixiang's eyes narrowed. By the way, I heard that Dr. Wang has developed a new drug that has a very good effect on treating diseases such as thrombosis. Is that true? Many people had come to see the doctor in the past few days. It was not difficult for them to hear some news. Yes, the effect is very good, and the effect is fast. Can we do something about it to express our gratitude? You want to buy it at a high price. I don't know what Dr. Wang is thinking. I'll find time to talk to him, Zheng Shixiang said. He knew that his nephew was astonishingly intelligent. Although he was only in his early 20s, he had astonishing achievements in business. His vision was extremely accurate, and he could see the big strategic direction very clearly. The key was his grasp and control of people's hearts, which made him, a man in his 40s, gasp in amazement. This was also the reason why he was so valued by the family. The Zheng family had a large business and a large number of people. There were also many men in Zheng Weijun's generation, but there were not many who could be of great use. Zheng Weijun was one of the outstanding talents. If it were not for his body, he would have already occupied a place in the Zheng family's huge financial group. That night, it rained and showered. Pitter-patter. Spring rain was as precious as oil, so it definitely wouldn't annoy anyone. In the rain, Wang Yao stood on top of the mountain, quietly feeling the tremors. Just a moment ago, he felt the tremors of the mountain under his feet. It started again. Rumble. The mountain was growing, just like a child in the process of development. In the herbal field, the dog got up from its kennel. Pitter-patter-patter. The rain fell happily. The next morning, the rain did not stop, but it had become much lighter. Even in such weather, there were still people who came to see the doctor. The clinic was full of people. Dr. Wang cough. A man in his 40s coughed badly. He had a full beard and 2 yellow front teeth. I've been coughing badly recently, and my chest hurts, the man said. How long have you had this feeling for? Well, more than a month, the man said after thinking carefully. Haven't you seen a doctor? No. Wang Yao took a closer look. The disease was in the lungs. Do you smoke a lot? I've been under martial law for 2 months. You'd better go to a bigger hospital for your illness, Wang Yao said. What? The man was stunned. Why? It's not easy to treat here, Wang Yao said. The patient had a tumor in the lungs, which was very likely to be malignant. This serious illness had a lot to do with his poor daily life, especially smoking. What is this? The man was stunned. Dr. Wang, do I have a bad disease? You'd better go to the hospital as soon as possible. The man shook his head and left. His face was very gloomy. This kind of illness could not be delayed. He should have felt the abnormality in his body earlier. If the illness was delayed for too long, a small illness could become a serious illness, and a serious illness could become a terminal illness. Hello, doctor. I have a headache. The next few patients didn't have any problems. Wang Yao treated them very quickly. In the afternoon, the man named Zhong Luchuan came to the clinic with his sister. She was a thin girl with a yellow face like a bean sprout. Not only was her face yellow, but her eyes and hair were also yellow. She had no energy. Hello, Dr. Wang, Zhong Luchuan said. Sorry to disturb you. This is my sister. Hello, doctor. The woman greeted him timidly. Her voice was very soft. Hello, sit down. After sitting down, Wang Yao carefully checked her. I can cure this disease, but it will take a process, Wang Yao said. During the treatment, you'd better be nearby. Otherwise, you'll have to go back and forth. Okay. When Zhong Luchuan heard that the disease could be treated, he was very happy. Not to mention a short period of time, he could even live there for 1.5 years without any problems. That day, There was another pair of patients renting a house in the village. After they left, Wang Yao carefully recorded the girl's condition. Her condition was liver failure. For example, her entire liver area was only functioning about 10%. Her body was very weak. The accumulation of toxins was very strong. Since the liver was not good, digestion and absorption were naturally poor. This was a chain reaction. The 5 internal organs of the human body were like the 5 elements. They complemented each other. If one of them had a problem, it would affect the normal function of the other organs. However, in Wang Yao's view, the treatment of her disease was easier than Zheng Weijuan's. He would dissolve the toxins, consolidate the corporeity, and restore the normal function of the organs. Brother, this village is so quiet. At night, the girl was lying on the column. She had spent a long time in the hospital. There were many patients, and they changed back and forth. Even though Zhong Luchuan had spent money and found people, she could not stay in the intensive care unit for a long time. Therefore, she did not have a good rest. She did not like the smell of the medicine in the hospital. On the contrary, the mountain village was so quiet at night. It is very quiet, Zhong Luchuan said. Your illness will be cured soon. He only had one family member in the world. He worked hard and did those dishonorable things to treat his sister's illness. Okay, the girl responded, and soon she entered her dream. The next morning, Zhong Luchuan and his sister came to the clinic early to wait. Wang Yao began to treat the sensible girl. He had 2 decoctions, detoxification powder and regather soup. Half an hour after taking the medicine, he gave her acupuncture to stimulate her body, promote the flow of blood, and accelerate the absorption of the medicine. Take the medicine 3 times a day and give her acupuncture once every 2 days. Okay, in Jing, thousands of miles away, I can't cure this disease. Dr. Chun, can you please take a look again? It's not that I don't want to treat it, Dr. Chun said. I really can't cure it, but I know someone you can try. Oh, Wang Yao. Which hospital in Jing is he in? Not in Jing, but in Qi province. Qi province. In a courtyard house, 2 people were sitting opposite each other. One was an old man in his 70s, and the other was a man in his 40s. In a mountain village. The Dr. Wang who cured Princess Su? The old man asked. Yes. I heard that he is not easy to invite, the old man said. Of course, it is not easy to invite him, but it is always easier for you to go. How about my father's health? The old man asked. He can withstand the torment, Dr. Chen said. Okay, I will go back and talk to my father. Sorry to trouble you. The old man expressed his gratitude and left. These people are used to being high and mighty, Dr. Chen said. They always hope that everything goes according to their wishes. Everyone revolves around them. Chapter 649. What are you murmuring about? His wife came out of the room. Nothing. There's someone I don't want to see. You don't want to see him? Do you think I won't see him because I don't want to see him? The old man was a little angry. Then why did you introduce him to Dr. Wang? I don't like this person, but his father is not a bad person. I should help him. In a mountain village thousands of miles away, there are so many people. Looking at the cars parked outside the clinic, Gu Yuan was very surprised. She remembered that it was not like this the last time she came. There were not so many people coming to see the doctor. She was not the only one who was surprised. Pan Jun, who was helping in the clinic, was also surprised. Stretch your legs and move them. Yes. Pan Jun came at the right time. There were 2 patients who were not feeling well. They had problems with their necks and waists. They could be treated and relieved by massage. Coincidentally, he had been in touch with them recently. He could treat these 2 patients. Who are you? I'm his apprentice, Pan Jun replied with a smile. Why haven't I seen you before? Hey, isn't this Director Pan from the emergency department of the county hospital? Some of the people who came to see the doctor knew Pan Jun what? Director from the county hospital? After hearing that, some of the patients present felt very surprised. Although they knew that Wang Yao's medical skills were very good, they subconsciously thought that Wang Yao opened the clinic in a mountain village because he was not accepted by the regular medical units. In their opinion, or in the opinion of most people, opening a clinic outside was after all an unorthodox way to work. It was not as reliable as working in a regular medical unit. This was the government salary. "It's me," Pan Jun replied with a smile. "You're Dr. Wang's apprentice?" "Yes, master is very good. He doesn't teach ordinary people," Pan Jun replied with a smile. He was telling the truth. Wang Yao did not teach ordinary people. Hearing the conversation between them, Wang Yao just smiled and did not say anything more. This time, the people who came to see the doctor were very surprised deep in their hearts. An unorthodox doctor who could teach the director of a county hospital. How good his medical skills were. Amazing. With Pan Jun's help, Wang Yao's treatment speed was a little faster. After learning Pan Jun's true identity, the patients who were still doubtful were willing to be treated by him. The effect of his treatment was really good. The two patients really felt their bodies getting better. Well, he's a doctor from the county hospital after all. He's quite capable. When Gu Yuanyuan, who had come from the capital, entered the clinic, Wang Yao was busy. She was also holding a wooden token and lining up. What a beautiful girl. Another patient's eyes lit up when he saw Gu Yuanyuan. Beauties were the focus of attention wherever they went. Gu Yuanyuan was the kind of girl from Jiangnan. She was very graceful, and the more you looked at her, the prettier she looked. "Beauty, how should I address you?" A young man who was accompanying his mother in the room even took the initiative to greet her. Gu Yuanyuan smiled faintly. So beautiful." Her smile made the young man's heart itch even more, as if he was being scratched by a cat. "You're so beautiful. I have to try to chase you." He said a few words from time to time and made a self-introduction, but Gu Yuanyuan simply ignored him. "It's your turn." Oh. The young man accompanied his mother to see the doctor. Gu Yuanyuan waited quietly. After accompanying his mother to see the doctor, the young man came over and asked for her contact information. "Sorry, I'm already married," Gu Yuanyuan said with a smile. "Oh, that's a pity." The young man was dragged away by his mother. "Hello, sir. When did you get married?" "Congratulations," Wang Yao said with a smile. "Not yet. I plan to get married around October this year." "Oh," Wang Yao smiled. "Sorry to trouble you, sir. Mr. Wu's illness has worsened again," Gu Yuanyuan said. "She came here to ask for medicine." "Has it worsened again?" Wang Yao was silent for a moment. "Come and get the medicine tomorrow." "Okay. Sorry to trouble you." Gu Yuanyuan left after leaving a small gift. "That girl just now is really beautiful." Yes. Although Gu Yuanyuan had left, the patients there were still talking about her. "Dr. Wang, where's that girl from?" asked the doctor. "She's from Beijing." "Ah, she came here to see the doctor?" They didn't believe it, but since Wang Yao said so, they didn't ask more. After all, they were here to see the doctor. They couldn't recite the script with the attending doctor, right? It was another busy day. At night, Wang Yao decocted a decoction for Mr. Wu. Regather soup. On the one hand, Mr. Wu's body did have a malignant disease. On the other hand, his body had reached the age of aging. After all, he was an 80-year-old man. At this age, his body was already very old. He was able to support himself because he was in a position where he could get all kinds of medicine. If he were in a normal family, he would have died long ago. That night, the air was a little stuffy. The next day, early in the morning, he could feel the heat from Cici. Gu Yuanyuan came very early. She took the decoction prepared by Wang Yao, paid the fee, and left. In the morning, Wang Yao received a special patient. It was a patient with a bad heart. He was about 50 years old. The patient was sent to the hospital by his son, a very fashionable young man. His hair was combed and shiny, which was very eye-catching. He also had a special fragrance. Wang Yao didn't look at the patient. Instead, he looked at the young man. He was very impatient. There was even some disgust in his eyes. "What do you feel uncomfortable?" "My chest hurts. I feel uncomfortable in other parts of my body." "How long has it been?" Wang Yao asked as he checked him. "Probably more than a month." He fainted. "More than a month?" Wang Yao reached out and put his hand on the man's wrist. He immediately found that he had a very serious heart disease. "You have a very serious heart disease?" Wang Yao asked. "Yes, I have been taking medicine. Now, in addition to chest pain, I can't breathe, and I feel weak physically. I also feel very dizzy. I have been taking medicine," the man said. "Doctor, Hurry up and take a look at him, the young man said impatiently. How are you related to him? I am his son, the young man said. His son came to see a doctor with his father. Was he so impatient? Your illness needs to be treated slowly. Medicine is part of it. The key is to worry less, be less angry, and rest quietly, Wang Yao said. With this illness, he couldn't do heavy physical work or have intense emotional changes. Doctor, please take a look at me, the middle-aged man said. In fact, he didn't want to come to the clinic, let alone with his son. In the end, he didn't change his wife's opinion. He still came. On the way, he was angry again. Okay, Wang Yao had already seen the illness. He also had the medicine. He had treated patients with heart disease before. He still had some experience in this area. Chapter 650. How long will it take? It had only been a few minutes. The young man next to him seemed a little impatient. Are you in a hurry? Wang Yao asked coldly. Yes, the young man said. Sigh. The middle-aged man sighed. He didn't know what to do with his son. Wait a minute. I'll give you a prescription. Wang Yao gave him a prescription. He told him how to take the medicine and what to pay attention to. Be sure to control your emotions. Don't be angry, Wang Yao said while looking at the young man. Hey, what do you mean by looking at me like that? The young man felt that Wang Yao's gaze seemed to be meaningful. He also heard what he said just now, so he stopped. Let's go. His father couldn't stand it anymore and pulled him. Why are you so arrogant? The young man's tone was very aggressive. It was as if he wasn't talking to his father, but a servant or an enemy. Hey, young man, how can you talk to your father like that? The doctor next to him couldn't stand it anymore. It's none of your business. Bastard. Let's go, let's go. The face of the man with heart disease became a little ugly. I shouldn't have come if I knew. TSK. With a bang, he slammed the door hard. What kind of person is he? How can he talk to his father like that? Yes, young people nowadays. Ah, Dr. Wang, I'm not talking about you. It's okay. Continue. It was just a small episode that didn't affect Wang Yao's mood. However, he felt a little sad for the middle-aged man. It was impossible for him not to be sad and angry when he had such children. It seemed that he had been angry for a long time. Most likely, he was just sulking. It was impossible for people to not be angry in their lives. However, anger had to be vented in time. It was best not to sulk in time. That was the most harmful thing to the body. The room was full of patients. It didn't take long. Unknowingly, it was afternoon. The sky was dark. In a house in Lianshan County. How was the visit? It's okay. A middle-aged man sighed. It's good when you're good, and bad when you're not. What do you mean by nothing? His wife was a little angry. The man didn't say anything. He lowered his head and returned to the room. I'm talking to you, what's going on? The man was alone in the house, lying on the bed and staring at the ceiling. He thought of his son's attitude toward him and his wife's attitude toward him this afternoon. He thought of the past half of his life. He couldn't raise his head at home. His wife never gave him a good face, whether at home or outside. His son didn't listen to him. He endured it. He endured it all these years, thinking that it would be worth it if he could see his son get married and start a family smoothly. But was it really worth it? What's the point of this? He had been a good-for-nothing for half his life, and he didn't want to be a good-for-nothing anymore. In the middle of the night, there was a sigh. The medicine is ready. Come out and drink it. His wife's impatient voice came from outside. She waited for a while, but didn't hear anything. What's wrong? You still have a temper, don't you? She tried it and found that the bedroom door was locked from the inside. On the bed in the bedroom, the man stared at the ceiling. His vision was a little blurry. It was as if he could see himself when he was young, and he could see his parents who had passed away with him. Dad, Mom, I'm sorry. Your son is useless. What are you doing inside? Open the door. The woman waited until 10 o'clock at night and found that her husband hadn't opened the door. This had never happened before. You've given me face, haven't you? Okay, you can stay inside. There was more than one bedroom. The woman went to sleep in another one. The next morning, she woke up and found that the door of the other bedroom was still locked from the inside. Humph, forget it if you don't want to get up. The woman carefully dressed up and went out. She usually didn't cook breakfast. All these years, her husband had cooked 3 meals a day. Since no one cooked, she went out to eat. As long as you have money, you can eat anything. This was a sentence she often said to her husband. She earned more money than her husband, and a lot more. Therefore, she had the final say in the family. Whether at home or outside, she didn't give her husband any face at all, even in front of her in-laws. In this family, the woman was in charge of the outside, and the man was in charge of the house. In her opinion, this was the way it should be. Are you going out? Yes. You're so beautiful today. Is that so? Thank you. She was a completely different person when she was outside and when she was at home. To outsiders and neighbors, she always greeted them with a smile. At home, she rarely smiled to her husband. Just like last night, when she brewed medicine for her husband, it was a sudden idea that she rarely encountered. It was precisely because of this that she was very dissatisfied with her husband's performance last night. She went to a nearby restaurant. After breakfast, she didn't go home. Instead, she went to a friend's house to play mahjong. Yes, mahjong. Now, she was living a very comfortable life in this small county just by collecting rent every year. She relied on demolition and compensation to start and make a fortune. After accumulating capital, she invested in the stock market and accumulated capital. It was hard to imagine that such a woman had an extraordinary sense of smell in the stock market. Or it could be said that she was blessed by the stock market. In more than a year, she made money that others might not make in a lifetime. Then, she could enjoy life to her heart's content. Is your husband getting better? He's still the same. He's half dead. Last night, he got angry and locked himself in the room. Actually, your husband's life is not easy. You should treat him better. Am I not good to him? He eats my food and drinks with me. Doesn't Mr. Zhao have his own job? What can he do with his little salary? Okay, let's not talk about this. Let's play mahjong. After a few rounds of mahjong, it was lunchtime unknowingly. Let's go out to eat together. No, let's go home. The woman returned home and found that there was no cooking. The bedroom door was still locked. How long are you going to be stubborn? She raised her leg and kicked the door. There was still no response. Humph. She went out to eat by herself. She ordered a few dishes at the restaurant. Halfway through the meal, her face suddenly changed. She put down her chopsticks and hurriedly ran out. Hey, you haven't paid yet. She threw a few bills and ran home. She rummaged through the cabinets to find the key to the bedroom, but she couldn't find it. She was a little panicked. Her head was full of sweat. Mom, what's wrong? Her son hurried home because he had received a call from his mother. He had never heard such a panicked voice. Your dad. What's wrong with him? He locked himself in the room. So what? Let him be. Hurry up and find a way to open the door. He's been in there for more than a day. The young man also realized something and was about to break the door. The door was a solid wooden door. Since he had money, he naturally had to change it to a better one. Chapter 651. The door was a good door, and the lock was a good lock. It was very troublesome to open it with external force. The young man used a lot of strength, but he couldn't open the door. There was such a big movement, but there was still no movement in the room. His face changed. He thought of a very serious possibility. Call the lockpicking company. After a phone call, the lockpicking company soon came. The door is locked from the inside. Yes. Okay, I'll do it. The lockpicking company had professional tools. In less than 2 minutes, the lock was opened with a click. The mother and son couldn't wait to rush into the room. The window of the bedroom was open. The sun shone in. On the bed in the bedroom, a man was lying on the bed. He seemed to be sleeping soundly, but his face was a little strange. On the bedside table, there was a white plastic medicine bottle. Lao Zhao, the woman called softly. She came to the bedside. She stretched out her trembling finger and put it under the man's nose. There was no breath. Buzz. The woman's mind was blank. She was in a daze. She didn't have any thoughts. Thump. She sat down on the ground. Old Zhao, she shouted, tears streaming down her face uncontrollably. However, her loud shouts had no effect. The man lying on the bed fell asleep, just like that. He would never wake up again. Dad. The young man was also in a daze. He didn't expect it to be like this. He didn't know why, but he didn't feel sad. He really didn't feel it. He didn't cry. He just stood there in a daze. T, he's dead. After seeing the scene, the lockpicking company immediately became a Spartan. He didn't care about the money and just left. Bad luck, too bad luck. He went out and broke a willow branch outside. He swept it on his body. In the room, the woman sat on the ground in a daze. She was muttering something in a low voice. Her eyes were dull, as if she was crazy. Her tears kept flowing. This was how the world was, and this was how relationships were. After a couple had lived together for a long time, they would realize that the relationship between them was not as beautiful as it was when they first met. It turned out that the other party had so many shortcomings, such as sloppiness, narcissism, laziness, stinginess, lack of romance, and so on. Some people even regretted their initial choice. However, life was like this. Most of the time, it was dull. Most of the time, it was about mutual tolerance. You take a step back, and I take a step back. It wasn't about who was in charge of who had the final say in the family. The fireworks were bright but short-lived, and the water was calm but distant. In a marriage, it was inevitable for two people to have some bumps and bruises. When you really lost the other party, you would realize that those flaws were nothing. As long as he or she could live and continue to be by your side, it would be fine even if they had to live a poor life. Just like that, mother and son sat on the ground while the other stood there. After an unknown period of time, "Mom, should we call the doctor over?" The matter had to be resolved in the end. They couldn't just wait like this and let the dead lie on the bed. The woman responded. Her eyes were still dull. "I'll go and get you some water." The young man poured a glass of water for his mother. The woman didn't take it. She didn't want to drink it. Her tears were flowing more and more. She couldn't stop them. "Your father was angered to death by me. He had been angry for half of his life." The woman sobbed. "Mom, don't say that." The young man hurriedly comforted his mother. "It's all my fault. It's all my fault." She kept tearing her hair. "Mom." The results of the test were very simple. He died of an overdose of sleeping pills. Sigh. The doctor in charge of the test also sighed. It was another family tragedy. There was nothing sadder than a dead heart. Only a dead heart would want to die. This matter was soon known by the neighbors nearby. "Hey, did you know that Lao Zhao committed suicide?" "Yes. How can I not know such a big commotion?" "Sai, what good person." "That's right. It's all because Su Meili was too domineering. Whether at home or outside, she didn't give him any face at all. Which man doesn't care about his face?" "That's right. If I saw Lao's son shouting in front of outsiders, he would have fallen out with me on the spot. It's great now. He's gone. I saw her crying like she had lost her soul. What's the use? It's too late. They all lived together. They all knew how the couples got along. They also knew how domineering the mistress of the family was. Now that the person was dead, the next thing to do was to deal with the funeral. The relatives of the deceased all came. Su Meili, did you force my brother to death?" The family of the deceased was unwilling. Over the years, they also knew that their brother was a bit of a good-for-nothing. Their sister-in-law's domineering attitude could be seen at every gathering. They never thought that things would turn out this way. The person was gone. He died from overdosing. He was definitely forced to death. They had come with anger. "Yes, I forced him to death," the woman said. She admitted it. The person was dead. She regretted it. She regretted that she had treated her husband better. Now that he was gone, where could she go to find a husband who was obedient to her and loved her? The family members of the deceased were so angry that they didn't know what to say. "No, my father was not angered to death by my mother. His death has something to do with the wrong medicine." The young man didn't know why such a sentence popped out of nowhere. What did you say, Chongyang?" "My father took medicine before he died," the young man said. "It was Chinese medicine. I think there was something wrong with the medicine." "Su Meili, did my brother take other medicine before he died?" "He did, right?" Su Meili couldn't remember anything at all. She couldn't even remember what she had eaten in the morning. Her mind was full of the past. She was full of regret for all the bad things she had done to her husband in the past. "Didn't the doctor say that my brother died because he took an overdose of sleeping pills?" "It must have something to do with the medicine," Zhao Chongyang said with certainty. "Is the medicine still there?" "Yes. Take it for testing. We'll talk about it later. Let's deal with my brother's funeral first." In a mountain village, Zhong Liuchuan's sister received her first treatment. She took the medicine, inserted the needles, and massaged her acupoints. Wang Yao had used the same method on Du Feng. Du Feng and Wang Yao had different diseases, but they had some similarities. "How did you sleep last night?" "It was very good," Zhong Anxin said with a smile. She had slept very well the night before. It was rare to have peace in the mountain village. Because she had taken painkillers early, she basically slept until dawn. "Are you still taking the medicine prescribed by the hospital?" "Yes. It's medicine to protect the liver and relieve pain," Zhong Luchuan said. "Stop. Don't take it anymore." Okay. This treatment is over," Zhong Luchuan said. "Go back and take the medicine on time. Stay optimistic." Okay. In the afternoon, when he closed the door of the clinic and walked home, he saw Wang Ziqing coming back from outside on a motorcycle. He looked tired. After seeing Wang Yao, he stopped and greeted him. "Are you going home?" His breathing was a little messy. "Have you been tired recently?" I'm fine. This won't do," Wang Ziqing said. "Your body will collapse sooner or later." "It's okay. I can still hold on," Wang Ziqing said. Wang Ziqing said with a smile. He had to work hard. He had to support this family. He had to make up for his past. Wang Yao looked at him carefully. He looked at his qi. "Overwork leads to illness," Wang Ziqing said. "Come back early tomorrow and come to the clinic." Okay." Wang Ziqing was stunned. He didn't know why, but he still agreed. The next morning, the sky was a little gloomy and a little hot. At about 10 a.m., a luxury car entered the mountain village. "Is this the place?" "It should be." "The doctor's name is Wang Yao," Wang Ziqing said. "Yes, that's the name," Wang Yao said. The car stopped outside the clinic. "Well, this building is good," Wang Ziqing said. Two people got out of the car. One was in his 30s. He stood like a javelin, very tall and straight. The other was in his 40s. He was slightly fat, but he was well maintained. His face was ruddy. "Let's go in and have a look," Wang Yao said. Several patients in the clinic were sitting in chairs and waiting in line. "Hello. Are you Wang Yao, Dr. Wang?" "Yes, it's me. What can I do for you?" I want to ask you to see a patient," the middle-aged man said with a smile. "Take the card and line up." Wang Yao pointed to the wooden card hanging next to the door. "Well, we are in a hurry. Can you make an exception for us?" Wang Yao raised his head and looked at them. "The patient didn't come?" "Yes, he didn't come." "Where's he?" "In Jing. I don't make house calls." "Sorry." Wang Yao continued to see the patient. "Well, I brought the case. Can you take a look?" "Line up," Wang Yao said coldly. "You." The driver wanted to say something, but was stopped by the middle-aged man. Okay. He took the card and waited in line. 1, 2, 3, time passed slowly. Soon it was noon. Finally, it was their turn. He took out the case and handed it to Wang Yao. 78 years old? Wang Yao looked at the patient's age and felt that the disease might be a bit troublesome. "Yes," the middle-aged man said. The old man's disease was the weakness of the body and metabolic disorder. "How long has it been?" Wang Yao asked. "Well, almost 2 years," the middle-aged man thought and said. "Bring him here. I want to see him." Wang Yao handed the case to the middle-aged man. "My father is very weak now." "You see," the middle-aged man said. "I'm sorry," Wang Yao said. "Dr. Wang, we can pay the consultation fee. The price is not a problem. If you don't have anything else to say, please leave." Wang Yao felt disgusted when he heard that. Another self-righteous guy. "Dr. Wang, next patient." Wang Yao ignored them and continued to see the patients who came later. "Let's go." The middle-aged man took a deep breath to calm himself down and turned to leave. After leaving the courtyard, the driver and bodyguard said, "Boss, he is too arrogant. It is inevitable for young people to be arrogant. I'll call Dr. Chun and ask." He made a phone call and explained the situation. "What? I warned you before you went. Who do you think you are?" Even in Jing, the Su family, the Wu family, we will not talk to him in such a tone. "I can't help you." Dr. Chen hung up the phone without finishing his words. The middle-aged man stood there for a long time. Is it necessary? To be honest, he didn't think there was anything wrong with his attitude just now. Chapter 652. As Dr. Chun said, they were used to being superior. Their thinking was also fixed. They always felt that they dealt with it correctly. They should use such a method to deal with these people. Find a place to stay. Yes, Lianshan County was not good enough. They went directly to the best hotel and hike to stay. Inquire about Wang Yao. Understood. The people who came with him went out. In this world, anything that could be settled with money was not a big deal. That was what he thought. Today, although the doctor acted righteously and seemed to be a little virtuous, he still felt that he did not hear his condition. Then, when the Su family and the Wu family invited him, didn't he still go with eagerness? Which of these people did not want to climb up the social ladder? Their arrogance was just a fig leaf. They just wanted to find a way out. He snorted twice. In a mountain village, Wang Yao finished his work for the day. When he went out, he saw Wen Wan walking with her son. Zheng Weijun also sat quietly by the river in a mountain village, looking at the willow by the river in a daze. The two of them saw Wang Yao and greeted him from a distance. Wang Yao smiled and waved at them. Night fell. After dinner, Wang Yao went out again. When he walked to the clinic, he stopped. The location of his clinic was almost at the highest place in the mountain village, except for a few houses on the mountain. At this time, all the houses in the mountain village had their lights on. Looking around, there were already more than 20 houses that were dark without lights. A small number of these residents might have gone out and were not at home. However, most of them had moved out and moved into the buildings in Lianshan County. These houses were empty. It could be said that these houses were no longer theirs. When they first signed the contract, it was agreed that they would move out within a year after the building was built. Now, some people couldn't wait any longer. The Shishan incident was the biggest external cause. Moreover, there was the recent incident of people who entered the village and were poisoned, which accelerated the speed of the people in the village moving out. Perhaps it will not be long before this will become an empty village, Wang Yao whispered. He stood there in a daze for a while before he turned around and went up the mountain. Nothing happened that night. The next morning, Wang Yao went down the mountain early as usual. Very early in the morning, there were people waiting outside the clinic. Now, most of the people who came here knew his rules because most of them had inquired before coming. They also knew the time when he would be seeing patients. They came early, were waiting in line, and were receiving treatment. Most people thought so. Wang Yao began to treat the patient as usual. Outside the clinic, a group of people had arrived. They were holding banners and beating gongs and drums. There was quite a commotion. What happened? The villagers who heard the commotion all came out of their houses. Most of the villagers liked to watch the fun. This was also a characteristic of the Chinese people. Where are the banners? Quacked Dr. Wang Yao, treating human life like grass. This is Yao. The villagers were stunned when they saw the glaring red words on the white cloth. What's going on? Did Yao kill someone? Wang Yao asked. I have to go and talk to him. Zhang Xiaoying, who also came out to watch the fun, saw the bright red words. Her heart skipped a beat. Her whole face changed. Yao, something happened. Someone hurried to the clinic. What's wrong, uncle? Someone came to make trouble. They said you killed someone. What? Wang Yao narrowed his eyes. He then got up and looked around the patients in the room. Everyone, I'm sorry. I have something to deal with today. Please go back first. Okay. The patients who came to see the doctor had their own thoughts. Some immediately got up and left. 2 people stayed. Dr. Wang, do you need our help? This was a kind person. He knew Wang Yao, so he stayed to see if he could help. No, thank you, Wang Yao said with a smile. He then got up and went to the yard. He saw his parents hurrying over. Dad, Mom, I know. You don't have to worry. Don't talk later. Wang Yao went out of the clinic and went to the road. He then met the group of people. It's him, Wang Yao, quack. You killed someone. Quack. You have no respect for human life. Shut up, Wang Yao said coldly. Boom. It was like thunder. Ah, my ears. Who are you? Who did I kill? Tell me. He looked coldly at the leader. Don't you know who you killed? Don't make excuses, you murderer. Murder. You shut up. The 2 of them were a few feet apart. Wang Yao pointed in the air. Ah. The man just opened his mouth, but couldn't make any sound. Treacherous people don't deserve to speak here. What's wrong? The people next to him were shocked. What's wrong with me? The man was even more scared. Why couldn't he talk all of a sudden? He felt as if his throat was blocked by something. The words were in his throat, but they couldn't come out. It was as if there was a wall there. "Come out, don't hide," Wang Yao said to the crowd. His eyes fell on a young man wearing sunglasses. He was wearing a black sleeve with the word filial piety embroidered on it. The young man braced himself and came out. "Your father is dead." "Yes, he was killed by you. He took the medicine you prescribed," the young man said sternly. "He was angered to death by you, you unfilial son," Wang Yao said coldly. When he came to see the doctor last time, he had already seen the clues. He didn't expect things to come to this point. The middle-aged man who seemed to be suffering in silence died so soon. "Nonsense, it's obvious that there's something wrong with the medicine you prescribed," the young man said. "There's nothing wrong with the medicine I prescribed," Wang Yao said. "If you have doubts, take it for testing. Your father has passed away. Go to the autopsy to see what the problem is." "You're twisting words and forcing logic," the young man said. "Shut up, unfilial son." Wang Yao pointed in the air. Wow, the young man's mouth was open, but he couldn't make any sound. "Unfilial son, you don't deserve to talk here. F***CK. The people who came to make trouble were dumbfounded. One person could be said to be a coincidence, but there was another one. Did this young man know witchcraft? They already had thoughts of retreating and wanted to leave this place. It doesn't matter if you don't earn the 200 yuan, but don't become a mute for the rest of your life. You. Wang Yao looked at the dozen people. "Is the deceased your grandfather or your father? Speak. Why are you cursing? We don't even know him." However, no one dared to say this out loud. If they said it, it would make it clear that they were here to make trouble. "Let's go," someone in the crowd said in a low voice. Then, they turned to leave. "Well, what's going on here?" When they turned around, they found that the road behind them was blocked by a group of strong men wearing sunglasses. They formed a human wall and blocked the way. "Sir, what can I do for you?" Sun Yinsheng and Zheng Weijun came over. The big noise just now naturally alarmed them. "No one is allowed to leave," Wang Yao said coldly. "Oh my God, the people who came to make trouble regretted it. Young man, we were wrong. Someone couldn't help but say. We were hired by him. Can you let us go?" "Well, very well, tell that to the police," Wang Yao said. "Oh no, young man, you don't have to be so cruel." Wang Yao stopped talking. He had just called the police when he came out. Woo, the siren was whistling. Damn, it's really the police. What's going on? They gathered a crowd to make trouble and framed him. Wang Yao briefly described what had happened. "Yes, we are all witnesses. Take them all away." The leading police officer waved his hand and said, "Sorry to trouble you, Officer Li." "You're welcome, Dr. Wang," the leading police officer said. "How come you know him?" "He's a family of criminals." "What?" "Very well. Slandering the police, one more crime." "Bah, Uncle Police, I was wrong. Look at your old face. Who are you calling uncle?" "Shut up, all of you." The police came quickly and left quickly. The farce was quelled just like that. "Thank you, everyone," Wang Yao said. "Sir, you're welcome. It's good that you're fine. You can continue to see the doctor." "Okay." Wang Yao returned to the clinic. "Mom, Dad, the matter has been resolved. You don't have to worry too much." "Oh, okay." Zhang Xiaoying and Wang Fenghua breathed a sigh of relief. Originally, they were quite worried about this matter, but they didn't expect their son to solve it so easily. They were relieved. In the town police station. "Tell me, what's going on?" "Woo. Ah, why is there a mute?" "No, there are two of them." "Officer, they're not mutes," the leading police officer said. "They were turned into this by the young man." "Do I look like a fool to you?" "No, I didn't mean that," the leading police officer said. "Officer, I'm telling the truth, absolutely true. If there is any deceit, may I be struck by lightning. I swear. Do you think I'll believe your oath? Tell me what's going on." There was no need for interrogation and no need for trickery. They told him everything that had happened in full detail, spilling the beans from a bamboo tube. "TSK, TSK, TSK, I didn't expect you to have such an idea," the leading police officer said to the young man. "All right, don't sign there," the leading police officer said. "I don't understand. Your mother will be here soon." Hearing that her son had been arrested, Su Meili, who had not come out of the shadow of her husband's death, hurried to the police station in Songbai Town. "Officer, where's my son?" "Over there." "Woo." Zhao Chongyang saw his mother. He kept gesturing with his hands. "Chongyang, what's wrong with you?" Su Meili panicked when she saw her son like this. Her husband had just passed away, and her son had become like this. What was going on? Was it God's punishment for her? "Officer, what's going on?" The policeman at the side told her what had happened. "Chongyang, is it true?" Su Meili still didn't believe it. "Yes." Zhao Chongyang was silent for a moment and nodded. Are you stupid?" She couldn't wait to slap him. "Officer, how should we deal with this matter?" "Defamation with serious circumstances can be sentenced to imprisonment of up to 3 years, a police officer said. Of course, it was not up to them to decide whether it was serious or not. The sentencing matter needed to be dealt with by the court. Chapter 653. He didn't do it on purpose. He is still young. Can you give him a chance to turn over a new leaf? No one wanted their children to be imprisoned. The police cars didn't say anything more to her. Su Meili didn't dare to be careless. She hurriedly called the friend she knew. After asking those who knew her son's situation, she was slightly relieved. In a mountain village. "What's going on today?" Zhang Xiaoying asked her son during lunch. "An unfilial son." Wang Yao then told the story in detail. "His father is gone?" "No. Otherwise, he wouldn't have come here to make trouble." "Ah." Zhang Xiaoying sighed. "How can there be such a person? When the forest was big, there were all kinds of birds. Moreover, the world was so big. There were all kinds of people." While eating, Wang Mingbao called to ask about the matter. He also heard about it from a friend who worked in the town police station. He heard that there was a person who acted wildly in his village. It was his best friend who made trouble. He suddenly became angry. "It's okay. Just let them suffer a little," Wang Yao said. "What about Zhao Chongyang?" "Him?" Wang Yao narrowed his eyes. "Unforgettable," Zhao Chongyang said. "No problem. Sometimes a phone call could change a lot of things. It could even change a person's fate. For example, Zhao Chongyang didn't understand why he was charged with one more crime of not cooperating with the investigation and threatening the police. You really have the word official in your mouth. Whatever you say is true." He was furious. He had never been angered like this since he was a child. Once people were angry, they would easily lose their minds. When they lost their minds, they would easily do something out of line. Therefore, Zhao Chongyang banged the table with the police in the town police station. "Well, that's what I want." "Young man, you're quite angry." The police were amused. "You're crazy." When Su Meili heard the news, she was dumbfounded. She had already found a good person to deal with the original matter. She had thought of a way to deal with it. She was also using her connections to smooth things over. But now, there was a threat to the police. This was not a small accusation. It might cause big trouble. "Mom, I was just saying. It's just a casual remark. Do you know how much trouble you've caused? Can you let me worry less?" Zhao Chongyang did not continue to speak after hearing that. He chose to remain silent. "Sigh." Su Meili sighed. "When it rains, it rains. When the ship breaks, it is met with the headwind. What's wrong with this family? Was this God's punishment for him?" She suddenly felt very tired. She had never been so tired before. Running around for this family was completely different from her previous life. "Mom, don't be too tired." This was the last sentence that Zhao Chongyang said to his mother. In a mountain village on Nanshan Hill. Wang Yao strolled around the mountain and looked at the 2 rows of trees that he had just planted. There were fewer people in the clinic in the afternoon, so he went to the mountain. The trees grew very well, and the dog watered them very diligently. That was because this mountain was different. The spiritual energy here was dense, and it was the best nutrient for living things. Therefore, these trees grew very quickly. 2 tree walls had been formed. It was almost there. Wang Yao stood at the highest point of Nanshan Hill and looked around. There was a steep mountain wall on the south side. There was only a small area where people could go up, but the road there had been destroyed by Wang Yao. There was still a mountain further south. 2 barriers had been formed on the east and west sides. North. Wang Yao looked down the mountain. That piece of land. It was uneven. There were some trees in it. It was also considered land, but it was not his. I can exchange it or buy it directly. In a mountain village, it was common to change land. It was easy to deal with. When he returned home in the evening, Wang Yao told his parents about the matter. Don't say that. That night, Wang Fenghua solved the matter. They were all from the same village. It was naturally much easier to exchange good land for a few pieces of broken land. Continue to plant trees, Wang Yao said. With a phone call, Li Shiyu said that he would prepare the trees in the shortest time possible. Late at night, there was a light on the mountain. Wang Yao was at the top of the mountain, looking down. The mountain all around would be covered by trees. This was a big plan. Wang Yao had been thinking about it for the past few days. At first, it was a medicine field. Then, it was a spirit-gathering battle array. Then it spread out. Now his idea was bigger. The center of Nanshan City, the West Mountain, the East Mountain, and the foot of the mountain should be included. Most of the people in the village were going to move out. Then, these lands would be abandoned. He was going to buy all of them. After going down the mountain and entering the house, he began to draw on paper, make arrangements, and change. It was not until late at night that he turned off the lights and went to bed. The next day, a luxury car entered the mountain village. The man who had been refused entry 2 days ago was here again. This time, he followed the rules and lined up with a wooden card. He was very quiet. "Hello, Dr. Wang," the man said. "Let me introduce myself. My name is Li Shuren," the man said. "What's the matter?" "Ah, please treat my father," the man said. "I said I won't make house calls," Wang Yao said. "Well, I'm in a hurry this time. This is a small gift." The man directly took out a bank card. "What kind of trick is this?" Wang Yao was stunned. To be honest, it was the first time he had met someone who gave him such a thing. Although it was done secretly, there were other patients here after all. "What do you think?" Wang Yao asked with a smile. "Ah," the man was stunned. "What do you mean?" "I won't make house calls. This is the last time I repeat," Wang Yao said. It was inexplicable. The man named Li Shuren was most likely introduced by someone else. He knew some of Wang Yao's background. Most of the people who came from Beijing were those few. However, the way he handled things was indeed a bit unexpected. He was full of the smell of money. This family must be very rich. Wang Yao thought so. Well, think about it again. My father's health is really not good. Wang Yao waved his hand. He was too lazy to say anything to him. Whether his father's health was good or not had nothing to do with him. He was a pharmacist, but he was not a bodhisattva. He could not deliver all living beings from suffering. He did not want to treat people who were not pleasing to the eye. He did not want to treat people who did all kinds of evil. There were 6 kinds of doctors who did not treat people. The scolding was about to come out of his mouth, but it was abruptly swallowed back. He turned around and left in a huff. Before he left the door, he scolded in the courtyard, "You really don't want face. Director Lee? Let's go." He left in a huff. This person has a big temper. Did he just give Dr. Wang a red packet? It was a bank card. The conversation between the few patients was very low, but Wang Yao still heard it very clearly. He shook his head and smiled. After lunch, he went to the house of the village party secretary, Wang Jianli, and brought 2 bottles of good wine. "Yao, you're here. Come in and have a seat." "Uncle Andy." "Look, it's fine if you're here. Why did you bring anything? What's the matter?" Wang Jianli was a sensible person. This young man must have a reason to come to him. "Uncle, I have something to trouble you with." "Let's hear it." Wang Yao took out a piece of paper and spread it on the table. On it was a map. He pointed at the map and spoke slowly. Wang Jianli listened quietly. "It's such a big place. What do you want to do here?" "Plant trees." "Plant trees?" Wang Jianli was stunned. "Yes, plant trees to sell for money." Wang Jianli's wife asked curiously. "No, beautify the environment and purify the air." "What?" "Haha, just kidding." "Okay, I'll think about it. Sorry to trouble you." After chatting for a while, Wang Yao said goodbye and left. Why does he want so much land? Is there any news that a road needs to be built from here? He's been protecting it for a long time to make money. Road? What kind of road would go from here? Our village is surrounded by mountains. Wang Jianli lit a cigarette and said, "Then what is he after?" How would I know?" Wang Jianli said. "Anyway, it's not a bad thing. You'll help him?" "Yes, most of these lands are ownerless. Besides, they all want to move to the city. These lands will be abandoned. Wang Jianli took a puff of the cigarette. Why don't you give it to him and make some use of it? It can be considered as doing him a favor. This matter went much smoother than Wang Yao imagined. Chapter 654. In other words, Wang Jianli really wanted to help him. In the afternoon, he organized a meeting with the village committee to discuss the matter. Most of the land was ownerless. During this time, Wang Yao's reputation was growing. There was no need to be unhappy because of this matter, so the matter was quickly passed. That night, Wang Jianli took the initiative to go to Wang Yao's home. "Uncle, come in and have a seat." "Uncle, the matter you asked me to do today has been approved by the village committee. Come to the village committee tomorrow to go through the formalities." "Thank you," Wang Yao hurriedly said. He expected there to be no big problem with this matter, but he did not expect it to be so smooth. It's a waste to leave the land empty. What are you going to do with it? Plant trees to beautify the environment. Wang Jianli was stunned. "Oh, plant trees, Wang Yao said with a smile. "Up to you." Wang Jianli smiled and waved his hand. This young man was obviously a good person, but he was willing to stay in this small mountain village. He was different and unpredictable. After all, he was not a bad person. The people in the village came to see a doctor in his clinic. Most of them spent very little money. Some of them even did not need to spend money to be cured. For this point alone, this young man was worth helping. After eating a cigarette and chatting for a while, he went home. Wang Yao went out and went up the hill. "San Xian, the land at the foot of the hill will be ours in the future." Wang Yao pointed to the land at the foot of the hill. "Woof, woof, woof." San Xian seemed to understand and barked happily. "Your territory will expand in the future. It's such a big place. Do you need more helpers?" He felt that it was not enough to rely on the few helpers he had now. "Do you want to raise a few more dogs?" "Woof, woof." "What? You don't agree? Let me find you a partner." "Woof, woof." "Are you willing to be a single dog?" "Well, it's up to you." Wang Yao smiled and patted San Xian's head. The next morning, Wang Yao made a trip to the village committee to go through the procedures. In the afternoon, he did not open the clinic to receive patients because Li Shiyu had brought a large cart of saplings over. "Dr. Wang, how much more do you need?" "I need a lot," Wang Yao said with a smile. "Do you see that? This large piece of land is mine." Wang Yao pointed at the U-shaped piece of land at the foot of Nanshan Hill. "All right, there's also the reservoir." There was a small reservoir at the foot of Nanshan Hill. It was originally contracted by one of Wang Jinli's brothers. Last night, Wang Jinli had said that it would belong to him when the contract expired. It would expire this summer, and there was still more than a month left. "You want to plant trees in such a big place?" "Most of them." Wang Yao had already planned it out. The place was divided into many pieces. He planned to plant a variety of trees, including apple, pear, and cherry trees. Could the fruit trees here bear fruit and eat it himself? "You want to buy all of them from me?" "Yes." "Is there a problem?" "No problem. Definitely the best trees at the lowest price," Li Shiyu said as he patted his chest. It was such a big place. How many trees would he need? It was a big deal. Having dealt with Wang Yao for some time, he knew that this young man would definitely pay without hesitation. Of course, the premise was that the trees were of good quality. "That's all for now," Wang Yao said. "In the future, I'll contract here, there, and the nearby mountains." Wang Yao pointed to the east and west sides. "You want to plant trees in all of them?" "Most of them." "Trees, herbs, good. Li Shiyu looked at the empty mountain fields. He seemed to see a lot of money waving at him. "Great. Okay, you can unload the trees," Wang Yao said. "Okay." He called his companions and quickly unloaded the trees. Wang Yao paid through the bank transfer. "Let's go." "Okay." The trees were of different sizes. They were prepared according to Wang Yao's list. "Let's start, San Xian," Wang Yao said. He had divided the place into several areas. The trees in the car were mainly of two kinds, birch and elm. He wanted to set up a tree wall to block the road to Nanshan Hill, leaving only a path to the sheep farm. Originally, there were some trees nearby, most of which were hawthorn trees. They were a little old. Some of them might be older than Wang Yao. Wang Yao would not touch these trees. He would continue to let them grow there. He would only use these trees to block the remaining space. The U-shaped gap was very long. It was about 500 meters from east to west. Just to block this gap, it would require thousands of trees. The road on Dongshan Hill and Shishan Hill also had to be blocked. There was no rush. He would take his time. In the afternoon, dozens of trees were erected at the foot of Nanshan Hill. Wang Yao dug a temporary ditch to draw water from the reservoir on the mountain to water the newly planted trees. There's a little green on the open space. Don't destroy that piece of farmland. He stood on a tree and looked north. It was the flattest place in the village. A small river flowed in the middle. It was the most suitable place for planting grain crops, such as wheat and corn. I'm afraid these places will be abandoned. Woof, woof. Sanxian barked. Two people appeared on the path in the distance. How are you? Are you tired? I'm not tired. I think it's good, brother. It was the brother and sister, Zhong Luchuan and Zhong Anxin, who had gone out for a walk after dinner. Wang Yao jumped down from the tree several meters high. Huh? Zhong Luchuan heard the sound and looked up. He only saw a few trees and no people. Sanxian, you go up the mountain first. Sanxian went up the mountain. Wow, brother, what is that? In the distance, Zhong Anxin saw a huge animal, like a lion or tiger, going up the mountain at a very fast speed. It's a dog. It's so big. Yes, it's quite big, Zhong Luchuan said. Although they were far away, they could still see that the dog was not small. Not long after, they saw Wang Yao appear on the mountain road. Dr. Wang, it's you too. Are you out for a walk? Yes, we just had dinner, Zhong Luchuan said. We came out for a walk to digest the food. You look good. How do you feel? Well, much better, Zhong Anxin said. My stomach doesn't hurt anymore, and I have strength in my body. She had been here for a few days and had undergone treatment twice. The unhealthy sallow color on her face had subsided a lot, and the color of her eyes had returned to normal. Her overall complexion looked much better. Well, take your time. I'll go back. Take care. Wang Yao went down the mountain alone and returned home. Hello, auntie, uncle. There were guests at home. Come, we've been waiting for you. While eating, Wang Yao remembered that his third aunt's cousin was going to take the college entrance examination in a few years. His academic performance was very good. He was in the top 20 of the grade. Which school is Zheng Fong going to go to? I don't know how many marks he will get. Zheng Fong's studies are good, so there will be no problem, Wang Yao said with a smile. It was purely a visit between relatives. After dinner, they chatted for a while before leaving. Before leaving, Wang Yao gave them a lot of things. No, thanks. We can't eat it even if you leave it there. Take it. Zhang Xiaoying stuffed the things directly into the back of the car. Your uncle's work is not very smooth, Wang Yao's mother said when they arrived home. What's wrong? You know your uncle's people, Zhang Xiaoying said. He's not very good at things. Recently, his company has been promoting younger cadres. He has been transferred from logistics to the production line. He wants to be transferred back. It must be better to go back. Mom, can you find time to ask Annie? If that's what my uncle wants, I can think of a way. You know the leader of his company. I don't know him, but I do, Wang Yao said with a smile. During this period of treatment, he did know a lot of people, but if he really needed help, he would not ask them. Okay, I'll ask him later, Zhang Xiaoying said. Wang Yao was not in a hurry to go up the mountain. He waited at home. He said it's better in logistics. Okay, I got it. After receiving the news, Wang Yao went out again to Nanshan Hill. It was very windy at night. On the mountain, there was a drawing on the table. Wang Yao made some changes to the drawing that he had already drawn. He had been thinking about the layout of the area for the past few nights. Chapter 655. After thinking about it carefully, he made a few changes in a few places. Here, and here. There were 3 places. He didn't turn off the lights until late at night. The next morning, he first called Tian Yuan-tu and asked him to help ask about his uncle's work. These big bosses were all in contact with each other. Maybe they would need each other's help at some time. Okay, leave it to me, Tian Yuan-tu said with a smile on the other end of the phone. This was not a difficult thing for him. Before noon, he received a call saying that the matter had been settled. In Lianshan County, Wang Yao's aunt's house. His uncle also received a call. He was shocked. "What's wrong?" his aunt asked. "My job has changed. I'm no longer in the workshop. I'm still in my original position." "So fast." "Yes, I didn't expect it either. For such a big company, it was almost like they were changing orders. To be able to make such a decision last time, they definitely didn't find an ordinary person." "Yao really knows a lot of people." "Well, yes. Thousands of miles away, in the Su family's house in Jing. Zhenghe, what's the matter?" Song Ruiping looked at the young man sitting in front of her. Her appearance, demeanor, headaches, and family background were all top-notch. Unfortunately, his mentality, "I'm here to propose." "What?" Song Ruiping was stunned. She obviously didn't expect him to be so sudden. "I want to be Su Xiaoshua's wife. I want to love her and protect her for the rest of my life." There was silence. "I don't agree." Song Ruiping made her attitude very clear. "Why?" "Xiaoshua doesn't like you." It was very simple. The first sentence was just a statement of fact, but it also indicated a result. Guo Jinghe remained silent after hearing that. "Just because of this? This reason is enough," Song Ruiping said. She didn't like the young man in front of her. Her daughter didn't like him either. Her daughter wanted to marry a reliable person who was good to her and cared about her. He couldn't be so scheming. "I see. Sorry to bother you." "You are very outstanding," Song Ruiping said. "What is this? Are you trying to comfort me?" This was the first time that Guo Zhenghe had lost his gentle smile in front of outsiders. Disappointed, really disappointed. Angry, very angry. After he left the Su family, he drove alone to a mountain outside the capital. He raised his head and let out a long howl, expressing the dissatisfaction in his heart. Why is it like this? He had been a most outstanding person since he was young. He was good at his studies and was sensible. Whether it was his family or outsiders, they all thought highly of him. It could be said that his path to where he was now could be said to be smooth sailing. He could get whatever he wanted, whether it was power or fame. He could go wherever he wanted. However, he had hit a wall when it came to the issue of marriage. This was an unprecedented failure. Perhaps it was because everything had gone too smoothly before, which made him feel a little disappointed and unable to accept it for a while. How am I not good? How am I inferior to him? His gloomy eyes were filled with anger. Since I can't get it, then I won't allow anyone else to get it. For a moment, there was a hint of madness in his eyes. In Beijing, the Su family. "Madam, where did he go?" "He went to Mintugu outside the capital." "How'd it go?" He raised his head and looked gloomy. "What did he say?" "What he can't get, no one else can get," Song Ruiping said. Song Ruiping suddenly stood up after hearing that. Her eyes became frighteningly cold. "Tell Chu Yin not to do anything these days. Take good care of Xiaoshua. Double the number of people around her." "Yes, madam." "What a dark heart," Song Ruiping said. Fortunately, she had arranged for people to follow Guo Zhenghe. She wanted to see what his mind was like. She wanted to see if it was really as the rumors said. Now, it seemed that he was more terrible than the rumors. His mind was extremely gloomy. Xiaoshua definitely can't date such a person, let alone spend the rest of her life with him. What a pity it would be to throw such a pure and flawless person into a huge vat of dye. She paced back and forth in the room. Will Dr. Wang be implicated because of this? After thinking about it, she called Chun Ying over. "Yes, madam. I'll do it right away." After hearing what Song Ruiping said, she already knew what Song Ruiping meant. She wanted to remind Wang Yao to avoid being framed. "I hope I'm overthinking. Madam, I shouldn't say this, but Guo Zhenghe is now the governor of Qi province. I know that. You tell Wang Yao that if he really needs help, our family will definitely stand up for him." "Yes." Chen went back and immediately told Wang Yao about this matter. "Guo Zhenghe?" "Yes, Mr. Guo's mind is very gloomy. You must be careful." "I see. Thank you. Also, please help me to thank Madam Song." "Yes. If you need anything, please call me as soon as possible." Chen was still worried. After all, it was Qi province. "I see. After hanging up the phone, Wang Yao looked outside. Gloomy? To be honest, if this matter had happened in the past, he would not have thought it was so melodramatic. However, during this period of time, he had really experienced a lot. Moreover, he had the biggest bug in his body. If Guo Zhenghao wants to come, let him come. This matter could not be avoided. Song Ruaping, a fairy-like girl, had directly expressed her inner thoughts and put them into action. As a man, what was there to be afraid of? In the afternoon, the trees came again. This time there were 2 trucks. Li Xiu only transported the trees after receiving the phone call. These trees were planted by the time it was dark. Wang Yao had only planted half of the trees. Woof. What? You mean these trees? Just put them here. There's no problem. Wang Yao smiled and said to Sanxian. After going to the clinic, he hung the wooden sign on the door. He would not see patients the next day. Instead, he would plant the trees well. If they were left for too long, it would cause damage to the trees. The next day seemed to be a good day. Before dawn, someone kept setting off firecrackers, which woke up the mountain village. Who was setting off firecrackers so early? It was not only one family who set off firecrackers. They were moving out of the mountain village. In one day, another 6 families in the mountain village moved out of the mountain village to Lianshan County. Sigh. In the morning, on the road, an old man sighed. These people have all moved out. The old people were unwilling to leave. After all, they had lived in a mountain village for decades and were used to it. As the saying went, a home is better than a home. After living in the same place for a long time, people would develop feelings. This was the taste of hometown. They have moved out? There were still a few people who came to see the doctor today. In the end, they came and left with disappointment. This Dr. Wang should open a WeChat group or Weibo group. This kind of thing should be notified early so that we don't have to come here. Yes, this is a good idea. Find time to give him some suggestions. At this time, Wang Yao was planting trees at the foot of Nanshan Hill. The number of trees he had planted these few times added up to more than 100. He did it all by himself without any help. See if it's right. Woof. It's slanted. Left or right. Stretch out your paw. Got it. The man and the dog cooperated closely. While Wang Yao was busy, his parents came to the foot of the mountain carrying tools. Dad, Mom, why didn't you tell us that you were planting trees? I can solve this problem by myself. I don't need to trouble you, Wang Yao said. With the help of the 2 of them, the speed of the progress was a lot faster. You're quite strong. Yes, I'm practicing on the mountain, Wang Yao said with a smile. The whole family chatted and laughed. After a while, someone else came. This time, it was Sun Yunsheng who came with his bodyguards. Sir, do you need help? No. Wang Yao hurriedly waved his hand. Looking at all of them, they were all in suits and leather shoes. They did not look like they were working in the field. I'm almost done here. Oh. In one day, the 2 carts of trees sent by Li Xiu were all planted. At the same time, Wang Yao also discussed with Sun Yunsheng about the 2 mountains. That is not a problem. Chapter 656. Sun Yunsheng bought the things in the mountain village to repay Wang Yao. Otherwise, no one would invest in such a small mountain village. There were no resources and no scenic spots. Do you want to follow the rules? Okay, Sun Yunsheng said with a smile. Very quickly, he arranged for people to prepare all the procedures. Wang Yao transferred the money to Sun Yunsheng through a bank transfer. In this way, the 2 mountains were Wang Yao's. Sir, do you not want these houses? No. Wang Yao shook his head. I'll bother you if I need them in the future. Okay. In one day, Wang Yao bought almost half of the mountain village. Relatively speaking, the cost was very little. He also knew that Sun Yunsheng had a lot to do with it. Has the matter with your father been resolved? Well, it has been resolved for the time being. For the time being? It's still the same people who came last time, but they left Dao and went to Miaojiang. Miaojiang? Yes, there is a secret sect in Miaojiang called the Valley of Thousands of Medicine. A secret sect? The Valley of Thousands of Medicine? This was the first time Wang Yao had heard of such things. Medicine? Medicine and poisonous insects, Sun Yunsheng said. I don't know much, Sun Jingrong said. I heard it from my father. Sun Jingrong did not say much about these things to Sun Yinshan. In his opinion, it was better to know less about some things, especially some secret things. Knowing too much would be a burden. He always felt that the world was getting more and more wonderful. Wang Yao thought so. During this time, with the continuous treatment of patients, Wang Yao's experience bar was growing at a speed visible to the naked eye. At this rate, it would not be long before he could level up again. In an ancient village in a valley thousands of miles away, in a wooden building. Cough, cough, cough. A man with a pale golden complexion coughed slightly. His coughing did not stop, but instead became more and more severe, as if he was about to cough his lungs out. Then, his complexion began to change. Starting from his eyes, it turned grayish-black, the color of death. It spread outwards at a speed visible to the naked eye, but after reaching a range of only a few inches, it was bound by something, and then it was in a stalemate. After a moment, it quickly retreated. "Master," a voice came from outside. "Come in." The wooden door was pushed open and a young man in his 20s came in. He was holding a black porcelain bowl filled with steaming medicinal soup. "Master, the medicine is ready." "Okay, put aside." "Yes, disciple will take his leave." Knowing his master's habit, the young man quickly retreated. Looking at the soup in the porcelain bowl, it was very pungent. The man picked it up and drank it in one gulp. Pa! The porcelain bowl was smashed, and his body trembled uncontrollably. He seemed to be enduring intense pain. After a while, his expression slowly returned to normal. Soon, he whispered softly. In a mountain village thousands of miles away, he didn't see a doctor again today. Many patients who came to the mountain village were disappointed. What has Dr. Wang been busy with these days? This is the third time this week. Yes. At this time, Wang Yao was planting trees. During the few days when the clinic was closed, he had been planting trees on a mountain. He was very fast. In 3 days, he had planted hundreds of trees and dug 2 ditches to water the trees. Although it was at the foot of Nanshan Hill, it was not on the mountain. There was not so strong spirit. The trees still needed to be watered in time to be able to survive smoothly. After a busy day, when Wang Yao returned home, his parents also talked about it. "A lot of people have come to see the doctor these 2 days," Zhang Xiaoying said. "Yes, they came when I was not at home." "Did they come to the house?" "No," Zhang Xiaoying said. "The patients were very obedient to this point. Shouldn't you tell them in advance so that they don't have to come all the way here? I heard that some people came from hike." "Well," Wang Yao lowered his head and thought for a moment. "Why don't I open a Weibo account?" "What's that?" "It's something on the internet." That night, Wang Yao registered a Weibo account with the name Nanshan Pharmacist. The next day, he also put his Weibo account in a conspicuous place in the clinic. In this way, the patients who came to see the doctor could know in advance when he would see the doctor and when he would rest in advance through their mobile phones or computers. "Sorry, I have something to do tomorrow." At the end of the day, he updated a post on Weibo. Soon, there were people who replied to it. Wang Yao was somewhat old-fashioned. He rarely used Weibo and WeChat. He occasionally browsed them. "In the People's Hospital in Lianshan County." "Director, you want to see me?" "Xiao Pan, come and sit down." "You have a master in Songbai Town?" "Yes." "He is very good at treating cerebral thrombosis?" "Yes, not only cerebral thrombosis, but master is also very good at treating other diseases," Pan Jun said. "I heard that he has a medicine that has a very unique effect on treating cerebral thrombosis," the director said. "Well, I think so." Pan Jun pondered for 2 seconds after hearing that. Is it possible? If he could have a medicine that could treat cerebral thrombosis, it would be equivalent to having a hen that could lay golden eggs. Just thinking about it made people excited. How could Pan Jun not know what his director meant? "Well, I can only ask," Pan Jun replied. "Well, let's ask then," said Dean Leon with a smile. After leaving the director's office, the more Pan Jun thought about it, the more he felt that it was not a good thing. "What do you mean? What is it?" In the afternoon, he went to the mountain village and told Wang Yao about it. "How did he know?" "Master, a lot of patients have come to see you recently," Pan Jun said. A considerable number of people have come to treat cerebral thrombosis. Many people have taken medicine from you. This matter will naturally spread. It is not strange that he knows about it. Is he very greedy? His reputation is quite bad. He is very greedy. Master, if you have a way, you can apply for a patent. Well, I know. By the way, Master, isn't Zheng's family a famous pharmaceutical company in China? You can ask them for help with this kind of thing, Pan Jun said. Okay, thank you. What are you talking about? In the evening, Wang Yao went to the Sun family's house to find the Zheng family and told them his intention. Apply for a patent for the medicine. This is not a problem. Zheng Shixiang was very happy to take on this matter. Have you thought about setting up a pharmaceutical company to produce your own medicine? Zheng Weijun asked. Produce my own medicine? Wang Yao thought for a long time. With a mysterious system, he had a vast knowledge that ordinary people could not imagine. There were countless prescriptions. A considerable number of them had the same effect as some of the current Chinese medicine. There were also some that were not on the market. Is it easy to register? It is not difficult, Zheng Weijun said. In fact, the country was very strict in the control of medicine, especially the pharmaceutical production license. It was one of the most difficult documents to apply for. Do you have this idea? To be honest, I did not have this idea before, but after what you said, I have now, Wang Yao said. Since you have it, you can put it into action. It was very tedious to set up a pharmaceutical company in the city. There were many procedures to go through in the early stages. How much money does it need to invest? It is hard to say. At least tens of millions, Zheng Weijun said with a smile. So much. This is still a small amount. Master, if you don't mind, I can help. What do you mean? I want to partner with you to set up a pharmaceutical company, Zheng Weijun said. He did this to thank Wang Yao. Secondly, he did take a fancy to the magical medicine in his hands. He had experienced it himself and knew how magical the medicine was. If the medicine could be produced in large quantities and put on the market, the profit would be amazing. It was unimaginable. Partnership, Master, you have the majority, Zheng Weijun said. You have the right to decide the company. Let me think about it, Wang Yao said with a smile. Okay, I will arrange for someone to do the patent right away. Chapter 657. In the director's office in Lianshan County Hospital. I'm sorry, Director. He has applied for a patent, Pan Jun said. Hey, I'm just asking. Has Pim been very busy recently? Not bad. Well, you're still young. Work hard. Hey, if you don't have anything else, I'll go back first. Okay, go to your work. After Pan Jun left the director's office, Director Liang's face became a little gloomy. He applied for a patent? That's fast. He looked at the door. I don't know if what he said is true or not. In the mountain village. Hey, why are there so many trees here? The people who went up the hill noticed the changes at the foot of Nanshan Hill. There were no more trees planted by Wang Yao. These are planted by Yao, right? I saw a car bringing trees here a few days ago, a villager said. What is he doing with these tree trunks? Besides, does this land belong to him? Yes, you saw the notice posted at the door of the village committee. A villager said. What? He bought the land again? Well, let him do it. This is a wasteland. Crops can't grow here. It's idle anyway, the villager said. He was a villager who had a good impression of Wang Yao. When he spoke, he would unconsciously speak up for Wang Yao. Why do we have so many trees here? Who knows? Maybe they make money? Look, poplar trees, locust trees, and elm trees. Can these trees make money? Why do you care so much? Yes, it's none of my business. Let's go. At this time, there were fewer and fewer people going up the mountain in the village. Hey, there are fewer and fewer people in this village. It won't be long before there are only old people like us left. Yes, young people don't want to stay in such a place. Isn't there one? Yao, he is a strange person. This was the evaluation of the young man by the villagers. He obviously had extraordinary medical skills, but he was willing to stay in such a small mountain village. They really didn't understand what he was thinking. I don't understand young people nowadays. What are they thinking? At this time, Wang Yao, who they didn't understand, was treating patients in the clinic. At noon, an unexpected guest came to the village. Tian Yuan-tu came to the mountain village with Wei Hai. What brings you here? It feels like we haven't seen each other for a long time. I miss you, so I came to see you, Wei Hai said with a smile. Sure, more and more people are coming to see you, said Wang Yao. It's all right, Wang Yao replied with a smile. Have you eaten? No, my treat. It was still the same clinic. 3 people, a table full of dishes, and a pot of wine. You drove? It's okay. A driver will come later. After all, they were 2 big bosses. They still had their own chauffeurs, the kind that was on call. Rich people are indeed different. The 3 of them chatted as they ate. By the way, I have something to ask you. Wang Yao then told them about Zheng Weijuan's suggestion. Pharmaceutical company. Asked Wang Yao. It's a good thing. Pharmaceutical companies have high profits. With Zheng's help, it will undoubtedly be much easier, said Zheng Weijun. How do you know all these rich and powerful people? Asked Wei Hai after taking a bite of the food. Zheng Weijun was quite famous. They didn't expect that Zheng Weijun would come to see Wang Yao. It seemed that they had established a good relationship. He was introduced by son Yinsheng. The 2 families should have business dealings with each other, right? Asked Wang Yao. Well, in terms of capital, the 2 families should be about the same. However, the Sun family is in Jiangbei, while the Zheng family's business is mainly in Jiangnan. Moreover, Zheng Weijuan's family has a high-ranking official. This has played a significant role in the promotion of their family's influence. Sun Jingrong doesn't have that. The key is what you think. Yes, said Wang Yao. I have the same idea, said Wang Yao. With such a huge reserve of knowledge and powerful pharmaceutical knowledge, it would be a pity if he only treated patients in this way. Moreover, he now had a seemingly unlimited task, which was to promote the name of pharmacists and restore the prestige of this discipline. This was undoubtedly a very good way to do so. Then we will support you. Just tell us what you need, said Wei Hai with a smile. Yes, it would be better if we could also invest in it, said Tian Yuan-tu half-jokingly. Yes, I have a suggestion. This company must be under your control. It can't be a tool for them to make money. Well, I have thought about this. Well, come on, cheers. Cheers. Friendship lasts forever. The 3 of them and a table full of dishes didn't end until 2 p.m. Wei Hai and Tian Yuan-tu were very happy. They drank a little too much. However, the driver had already arrived and was waiting outside, so they didn't need to worry about anything. Let's go. Come to hike another day. It's my treat. Okay, don't forget. Wang Yao stood on the cement road that was not very wide to see them off. On both sides of the road, the leaves were swaying in the wind. They got together, chatted for a while, and then left. There would not be any international events or earth-shattering events. This was what friends were like. The friendship between gentlemen was as light as water. Lijiago was a mountain village in the mountains. If you asked people in Lianshan County, at least 9 out of 10 people wouldn't know where it was. It was because it was too remote and there was nothing famous about it. Unlike some places that were famous for their barbecue and pancakes, it didn't have any special features. But now, if you randomly asked people on the street, most of them would know where Lijiago was. It was because there was a hot spring here. The advertisement was very loud. Moreover, it was invested by the Southerners and built a hot spring villa here. Many people would come here on weekends or holidays. Hot springs were generally only seen on TV and in movies. Now, there was one in front of their own house. Many people in the county came to try it just for the novelty. Ah, it is so comfortable to take a bath in the hot spring. Soaking in the hot spring, the temperature of the water was quite high. Yes, if you ask me, you can build a group of health villas on the mountain here. It will definitely sell well. Well, I agree with this point of view. Save it. I heard there are poisonous insects on the mountain. 2 people in the village have died because of it. What? Are you serious? No way. What kind of insect is so powerful? Yes, in a family in Lijiago, a man was lying on the bed. His eyes were closed tightly. His face was pale. What happened? He was fine when we went out. He was bitten by an insect on the mountain. What insect? Now is not the time to talk about this. Hurry up and take him to the hospital. Yes, let's go to the hospital. A car hurried out of the mountain village. in the emergency department of Lianshan County Hospital. Doctor, please take a look at him. As soon as he saw the patient's condition, the doctor in the emergency department immediately came forward. What's wrong? He is poisoned. Poison? What poison? Did he eat something? He was not bitten on the mountain. Was he bitten by a snake? In the north, poisonous snakes were still very rare. It was the same in Lianshan County. Many people had not heard of anyone being bitten by a poisonous snake in the county for decades because there were no poisonous snakes. They were wild in the county. No, it was an insect. What kind of insect is so poisonous? The doctor in the emergency department asked as he checked the patient's body. We don't know either. Insect. A doctor heard the voice and came over. Director, let me take a look. Pan Jun came to the patient and quickly checked him. Heart rate was too fast, blood pressure was too high, shortness of breath, and coma. Where are you from? Lijiago. Lijiago. This place was famous for its hot springs. Most people knew about it. However, Pan Jun knew that this place was not particularly far from the village where Wang Yao lived. He also knew that there had been a terrible epidemic in the village where his master lived. The epidemic was caused by insects. Could there be a connection between the two? Master, what should we do? Do a blood analysis. Be quick. Prepare the ventilator. Yes. The medical staff acted quickly. Tell Master. Pan Jun took the time to call Wang Yao. Poisoning? Li Jiago? Yes, he was bitten by an insect. I see, Wang Yao said. Do you have any good treatment plan? You don't have any specific medicine, but I do, Wang Yao said. What? Pan Jun was stunned. The patient was now in the hospital. It was not appropriate to let them go. It's up to you. Okay. After the examination, the patient was arranged to be in the ward. Hey, Director Su. How is the patient's condition? Very dangerous. There are signs of heart failure. Are you sure? Pan Jun asked. Yes, there is no absolute certainty in this matter. They said he was poisoned. We did find traces of insect bites on the patient's body. There are signs of poisoning. To be honest, this illness should be sent to the surgery department. Why was he sent to our department? I don't know about that, Pan Jun said with a smile and walked out. What a joke. Could the surgery department treat this situation? Hey, don't go. In the ward, the patient woke up from the coma. What do you feel uncomfortable? His wife hurriedly asked. Fine, fine. He said a person's name and then fainted again. What's wrong with him? What did he just say? Fine, Maoming. Maoming? I remember. His son was also bitten by insects, but he was cured. Where was he cured? I can't remember. Hearing this, the patient's wife hurriedly called her family and asked someone to inquire about it. Chapter 658. What should we do? What do you mean? Are we just going to let him lie there like this? Let's treat him first. They did not agree on whether their husband should be transferred to another hospital immediately. After all, this was just hearsay. No one could joke about the life of their family members. No matter how good an individual was, he could not be better than a hospital. This was what most people thought. In fact, it was also the right way to think. The so-called faux prescription to treat serious diseases was, to a certain extent, and most of the time, a lie. Many people missed the best time for treatment because of this, causing minor lesions to become serious. However, they were wrong this time. Of course, they did not know it now. Still here? Pan Jun came twice in one day while the patient was receiving treatment. How was the patient? Since they were all doctors in the same hospital, these doctors from different departments naturally knew each other. What? Which one? I have a lot of patients recently, the attending doctor said with a smile. The one who came yesterday. His condition is not good, the attending doctor said. I have a headache. I have seen his blood test report. It is abnormal. Abnormal? I know. There is poison. Yes. Can't find a suitable treatment, right? There is no suitable treatment for the time being. I will try my best. Why do you suddenly care about this person? Is he your relative? He was aware of the emergency department director's abnormal reaction today, so he paid extra attention during the treatment. However, the patient's condition was too bad. It was not something he could treat and control with his current ability. No, I'm just curious. I'm just asking. That's good. What do you mean? I mean, his condition is very bad. How bad? How should I put it? Is his life in danger? Not at the moment, but it is hard to say after a long time. His condition is deteriorating. What do you think? Should we just delay it? Of course not. I have already suggested that they transfer to another hospital. What about the patient's opinion? Wait a little longer. Thank you. You are welcome. After chatting for a while, Pan Jun took his leave. Are you not confident in the treatment? Will it be better in the city? He was not sure. Perhaps his young master would know. I'll ask around tomorrow and learn something while I'm at it. In the village, the last patient was in the clinic. It was almost 12 o'clock in the afternoon. Are you very busy? This was a middle-aged man in his 40s. He wore rimless glasses and maintained them well. Just SOSO. Wang Yao looked him up and down. You're not sick. How should I put it? It's still a little high. My blood sugar has been a little high recently, the middle-aged man said with a smile. Let me introduce myself. My name is Zhu Yutong, the deputy director of Rinji Hospital. The middle-aged man smiled and took out a business card from his pocket and handed it to Wang Yao. Rinji Hospital? Yes, a private hospital, Zhu Yutong said. The headquarters is in Wei. We have branches in Dao and Ji. Hello. I've heard about you, Zhu Yutong said. I also saw your superb medical skills this morning. It's like this. I sincerely invite you to work in our hospital. You will be an attending physician of Chinese medicine. Sorry, I'm not interested. The annual salary is $200,000. Wang Yao began to tidy up the medical records on the table. 1 building in 3 cities. You can choose any one of them. Sorry, plus a $200,000 car. How about that? Wang Yao stopped and looked at him. What do you think? Are you thirsty for talents? We have never been stingy in investing in talents, Zhu Yutong said with a smile. In fact, the reason why their hospital could develop so quickly in just a few years was that they had hired some highly skilled doctors from other hospitals to work in their private hospital with high salaries. Sometimes, a person's reputation was very influential. Their motto was to use money to pave the way. I'm not interested. Sorry to make you come here for nothing. Was he still not satisfied with the offer? Zhu Yutong frowned after hearing that. In fact, from his point of view, this condition was really very generous. If it wasn't because of a friend's strong recommendation, and he had seen with his own eyes that his medical skills were really extraordinary, he wouldn't have offered such a price. It should be known that with such generous conditions, he could even go to some of the more famous tertiary grade A hospitals to hire some of the more famous attending physicians. If you have any other conditions, you can tell me. I'll try my best to meet them. I like this village, and I don't like to be controlled by others. Please. Zhu Yutong helplessly accompanied Wang Yao out of the clinic. What's so good here? The air is fresh, and it's peaceful. The most important thing is my hometown, Wang Yao said with a smile. Zhu Yutong looked puzzled. Haha, forget it. You probably can't understand. This person's eyes were full of money and interests. He could not understand these things. If you change your mind, please call me at any time. After that, Zhu Yutong got into the car and left. Director, did it go well? A guy who doesn't know what's good for him. The air is fresh and quiet in my hometown. It's so funny. Zhu Yutong sneered in the car. While he was thinking, the car gently turned to the side. 2 cars passed by them. What's this? The cars were imported Mercedes-Benz S-Class, and there were 3 of them. Dow license plates. What are they doing here? Could they be here to see a doctor? See a doctor? Are you kidding? Stop the car. With a squeak, the car stopped. Zhu Yutong got out of the car and stood on the road looking south. The car stopped in the middle of the village. A few people got out. Who is that? It looks like him. He was quite far away, so he was not sure if it was that person. Dad, why are you here? I have something to do, so I came to see you. It was Sun Jingrong and his friends. Uncle Sunday, Wei Jun, it seems that you have recovered well. Well, very well, thanks to your introduction. This Dr. Wang's medical skills are indeed very good. Haha, you are also very lucky, Sun Jingrong said with a smile. Director Sunday, you are too polite, Shi Xiang. It's rare to meet you. I will treat you to lunch today. Okay, Can you ask Dr. Wang to come over? I will ask Dr. Wang, Sun Yinsheng said. Wang Yao saw the 3 cars and guessed that it should be Sun Jingrong. Are you free at noon? When Sun Yinsheng arrived at Wang Yao's house, the dishes were already on the table. There were 4 dishes and a soup for the family of 3. What is it? Wang Yao asked. I want to invite you to my home for lunch, Sun Yinsheng said. No, thank you. Wang Yao refused very straightforwardly. His mother had already prepared lunch. In his opinion, if there were no special circumstances, he would not like to eat outside. Well, okay, sorry to disturb you. Huh, why don't you stay and eat? No, my father is here. I have to go back. Oh, say hello to director's son for me. Okay. Sun Yinsheng was a little disappointed. Since he invited you to lunch, why don't you go? Zhang Xiaoying asked. No, I don't like that kind of occasion, Wang Yao said. Okay, let's eat. Drink with me? Okay. Wang Yao smiled and went to the house to get the wine. He then poured a full glass for his father and himself. In the Sun family, the food was naturally more sumptuous. Dr. Wang has already eaten. Forget it. I will visit him in the afternoon, Sun Jingrong said. After lunch, Wang Yao talked with his parents for a while. He meditated in his room for a while. Then, he went to the clinic again. Hello, Director Sunday. He found that Sun Jingrong was already waiting outside the clinic. Hello, Dr. Wang. Come in, please. After entering the clinic, a cup of tea was served. Have some tea. Thank you. My son didn't cause you any trouble, did he? Haha, no, Wang Yao said with a smile. I heard from Wei Jun and Yunsheng that Dr. Wang is interested in setting up a pharmaceutical company. After chatting for a while, Sun Jingrong changed the topic. Yes, I just have an idea. If Dr. Wang really wants to set up such a company, the Sun family would like to contribute a little, Sun Jingrong said. Huh? Wang Yao was stunned. What does that mean? You want to join? Sun Jingrong was a very insightful businessman. He naturally knew about the profits in the pharmaceutical industry. He also knew about Wang Yao's medical skills. He had personally tried his medicine. It was very magical. If those medicines could be produced smoothly and put on the market in batches, the profits would be amazing. Moreover, it could further improve his relationship with Dr. Wang and strengthen his alliance with the Zheng family. It was killing 3 birds with 1 stone. Why not? I haven't thought about it yet. Oh, I'm just saying, Sun Jingrong said with a smile. He didn't stay in Wang Yao's clinic for long because there were patients in the afternoon. These people are very sad. Dr. Wang. Oh, hello, Auntie. Wang Yao knew this woman. She was in her 60s and lived in the village next door. Hello. My head is much better. It doesn't hurt, and I don't feel dizzy anymore. Can you take a look again? Do I still need to take medicine? The old woman asked. Okay, I'll take a look again. Wang Yao carefully checked her again. Okay, you don't need to take medicine, but you still have to be more careful in your daily life. Oh, thank you. You're welcome. When Wang Yao was treating the second patient, Pan Jun came. Master, well, you didn't go to work today? Yes. Pan Jun originally planned to come in the morning, but he was delayed by something. Chapter 659. These patients all have muscle and bone discomfort. You can take over, Wang Yao said with a smile. Okay, Pan Jun said with a smile. His main purpose in coming to the clinic was to learn from his master and exercise himself. It began. Dr. Wang? Who is he? I am his disciple, Pan Jun said with a smile. I work in the county hospital, Wang Yao said. Ah, county hospital? Yes, Pan Jun said. Pan Jun happily began to treat them. Pan Jun had already mastered the basics of massage and massage very well. Practice makes perfect. Well, you're making good progress, Wang Yao said as he watched. I go to my sister's clinic to practice whenever I have time, Pan Jun said. Wang Yao made him a cup of tea. Pan Jun took over from Wang Yao and treated 3 patients. The effect was very obvious. Oh, not bad. I feel much better, the last patient, an old man in his 60s, said. That's good. You still need to consolidate the effect of the treatment 2 more times. Okay. After seeing the patients off, Wang Yao invited Pan Jun to go down to the village for lunch. Master, I came here for another thing. What is it? The patient I told you about a few days ago was bitten by insects. His condition is deteriorating. Do you have a way to treat him? You mean the patient in the family ditch? Yes, I can treat that disease, Wang Yao said. It was easy for him to treat the disease. A leaf of antidote grass was enough. Well, I think if he is not treated soon, the situation will be critical. He has to be willing to come. Yes. After the meal, the master and disciple returned to the clinic. Pan Jun took advantage of the time when there were no patients to consult Wang Yao on a few questions. This was also a new problem that he encountered during the process of treating patients during this period of time. He learned, accumulated, and pondered at the same time, so he could make such rapid progress. Okay, slowly go deeper. Through these questions, Wang Yao could see that his disciple was constantly working hard, and his progress was obvious. Almost every time he came, he could see his disciple's progress. Why don't you learn something else after you've mastered the skill of massaging? Sure, Pan Jun said with a smile. He wanted to learn more, but he had a strong point, which was that he was content with what he had. He knew his own abilities and chose what to learn based on his own abilities. He was not a person who bit off more than he could chew. In the People's Hospital in Lianshan County, the poisoned patient chose to be transferred to the People's Hospital in Hike, which was nearby. Regarding this disease, they also had a headache. Poisoning was unprecedented. No, I think I've seen this poison somewhere before, a doctor said after looking at the case. After thinking about it carefully, he remembered the consultation that time. It seemed that the person who was poisoned that time was a young master with a scary background. That's right, it's him. What are you talking to yourself about? I've seen this patient's condition before. What? Time has passed, but at that time, it was not treated by us. It was also in Lianshan County. It was an unknown doctor who did not know the composition of the medicine. Lianshan County. He came from Lianshan County. The doctors there could not do anything, so they transferred him to our hospital. Let's give it a try. They tried. However, the effect was not good. It was a poison that they had never seen before. It was a disease that they had never faced before. Moreover, it was the kind that deteriorated very quickly. They did not have much experience to learn from, so they could only feel the stones to cross the river. In a mountain village, 50 miles away, it was raining. The weather was a bit abnormal during this period. Perhaps it was because of the rain. Wang Yao did not have many patients at around 3 p.m. Pan Jun left at 4 p.m. It's raining just like that? Because of the rain, Wang Yao read for a while and then picked up his phone to browse the internet. He saw a message on a chieba in his hometown. Strange insects appeared in the mountain village, and many people died. He clicked on it. It was actually a post with solid evidence about the mountain village. It said that there were terrible insects that caused a terrible infectious disease, causing many people to die. Many people in Lianshan County knew about this matter, but such posts were not allowed to be published. Looking at the replies below, there were actually people from other places who paid attention to it. One of the replies was very interesting. Indeed, one of my friends almost died there. Could it be the 3 people who came that day? What kind of insects? Put the picture. There was no lack of there being a lot of noise below. There are also strange insects in the hot spring of the family ditch. Several people have been bitten. As Wang Yao continued to read, he found such a message. This has also started to spread. Really? It must be a lie. I've been there twice. Why haven't I heard about it? Is it deliberately smearing other people's reputation because their business is good? There were quite a lot of replies to this post. After reading for a while, Wang Yao turned off his phone and continued to read. It was still raining. On Shishan Hill, there were a few places that were thickly covered with lime powder. The lime had already reacted with the rain, and the whole place had become alkaline soil. Crack! Something broke out of the ground. It was a mouse. It stuck its head out in the rain, looked around, and then went back into the soil. Time passed quietly in the falling rain. The next morning, the sky was still gloomy. Although it was not raining, the wind showed that the rain could fall at any time. 2 people came to the village. Is it here? Yes, it's here. The 2 people were dressed very ordinary. One was in his 30s, and the other was in his 40s. They were both relatively short. Shishan Hill. Yes. Let's ask someone. In such weather, there were not many people in the village. They took the initiative to knock on the door and ask, Shishan Hill, what are you doing there? It's there. It's very dangerous. Don't go up. I see. Thank you. The two people went up the hill along the alley between houses. Whoosh. It started to rain again. Let's start. Okay. Buzz. There seemed to be a sound. Here. They quickly found the place of death. Is it here? The two people began to look serious. The rain has damaged a lot of things. Let me look for it. The young man went down into the pit and rummaged inside to look for something. He suddenly spread his hands and pulled them out. Squeak! A mouse was caught in his hand. Damn the mouse. I hate mice. Squeak! The mouse was resisting. It seemed that it wanted to open its mouth and bite him. Die! The mouse dried up at a speed visible to the naked eye. Soon, it became a dried mouse. It was as if it had been dried in the dry desert for many years. Chapter 660. Junior Brother. The older man shouted. Sorry, I couldn't help it, the younger man said with a grin. Don't leave any traces here, the older man said. Got it, the younger man said. The two men rummaged in the pit for a while, but they didn't find anything. Not here, the younger man asked. There are other places, the younger man said. They left the pit and continued to search in a special way. Shishan Hill was not big. They soon found a broken rock. It's here. Their nest, the younger man said. There were uncleaned insect bodies on the ground. What are these? The younger man asked. I've never seen them before. The two men squatted on the ground to study the dead insects. It's a pity that they've all been killed, the younger man said. No, there must be more, the older man said. He could see the situation at the scene. It was left behind after the fire. Most of the insects had been burned to charcoal, leaving a small number of bodies. However, he wouldn't kill all of them. He had studied these little things for more than 10 years. He knew their habits and characteristics. Insects wouldn't die so easily. Where are they? The younger man asked. Don't worry, the younger man said. Buzz. There seemed to be something vibrating in the air. The two men stopped after a few steps. They're underground, the younger man said. Let me do it, the younger man said. The slightly younger man had a unique tool on his finger. His finger was wrapped in dark metal armor, and the tip of his finger was very sharp. Gotcha! With a single strike, the mountain rock was split open. The rock had been broken by Wang Yao earlier, but he didn't check carefully. There was another rock behind the rock. The distance between the two rocks was about 1 meter. The hard rock was like crispy potato chips between his fingers. It broke and slipped. Not long after, more than half of the rock was shattered, revealing what was inside. Sure enough, the inside of the rock was empty. There were bugs. They were the same bugs, but they looked like mole crickets. They were smaller than half the size, and they were black in color. It was scary. Found you, the younger man said. Russell. The insects seemed to have sensed the smell of food. They moved and were ready to attack. Don't worry, the younger man said. He took out a black cylindrical wooden tripod. It was dark and had some strange patterns carved on the surface. Come in. He opened the lid of the wooden cauldron, and a unique smell wafted out from it. Then, all the insects cooperated and entered the cauldron. Very good. After all the insects had drilled into the cauldron, he closed the lid of the wooden cauldron and put it into his bag. All right, where to next? Another mountain village. The two of them went down the mountain and returned to the mountain village. Woof, woof. A stray dog barked at them. Hiss. The slightly younger man bared his teeth and made a threatening sound. Don't cause trouble. Did it roar at me first? Let's go. The two of them left the village in the spring rain. The two of them arrived at the north end of the village, where a taxi was parked. I thought you guys weren't coming. Where are you going? Leave family ditch. To soak in the hot springs? Yes. Okay, but the hot spring there is really good. I've been there once, the taxi driver in his 40s said with a smile. The car drove in the rain towards the mountain. In the rain, the mountain village was still quiet. Wang Yao locked the door of the clinic and went home with an umbrella. Thousands of miles away, in the bustling capital, it was also raining. On the campus of Peking University, a fairy-like girl stood by the lake with a light blue umbrella. She watched as the raindrops fell from the sky and landed on the surface of the water, creating circles of ripples. I don't know if it's raining at Dr. Wong's place. What are you thinking about? A clear voice sounded beside her. Oh, nothing. I'm thinking about someone. Someone? Are you a lover? Yes. The beautiful woman admitted very frankly. Ah, is that true? The gentle and lovely woman beside her was surprised after hearing that. Yes. Su Xiaoxue smiled. She thought that she liked Dr. Wong, and Dr. Wong also admitted that he liked her. The two of them liked each other. The next step was to get in touch and become lovers. Hey, you don't know how many people's hearts will be hurt by your words. What does he do? When will you introduce him to us? Well, he is a pharmacist. A pharmacist? A doctor? No, he is a pharmacist. An ancient pharmacist. What? I'm not telling you. Let's go. The two women walked all the way in the rain. They were laughing all the way. They were like two cheerful elves, causing passers-by to stop and watch. What a beautiful girl. After school, there were no classes in the evening. Xiaoxue, let's get together tonight. Okay. The girls made an appointment to have dinner together in a restaurant near the school. The sky gradually darkened, but the rain was still falling. The girls dressed up beautifully went to the restaurant outside the school. They had a private room. Outside, a car was parked in the rain. A person sat in the car and stared into the restaurant. What do you want to eat? Anything. These girls were classmates who got along well with each other in class. They didn't expect Su Xiaoxue to be so polite. They were very clear about the family background of this girl who had amazed them. After all, this was Jing. The news was very well informed. It was rare for such a person to be so approachable. She didn't have the so-called princess syndrome. After a few dishes were served, they started chatting. They were girls after all. When they got together, they would talk about boyfriends. Among these girls, two already had boyfriends. The rest didn't. They exchanged their experiences and experiences. As they talked about the criteria for choosing a partner. Xiaoxue, what kind of man do you like? Well, I already have someone I like, Su Xiaoxue said. Really, they had always thought that this was just an excuse for her pursuers. They didn't expect it to be true. Where is he? What does he do? When can you introduce him to us? They wanted to know what kind of man could win the heart of such an outstanding girl. He is not in Jing. Abroad? No, he is in Qi province. Qi province? What does he do? He is a pharmacist. A pharmacist? An ancient pharmacist, another girl said. Yes, you know him. I heard that my grandfather is a traditional Chinese medicine practitioner. He is an ancient pharmacist. He is good at treating all kinds of diseases. Su Xiaoxue smiled after hearing that. Is he that good? Something like that. How old is he? Is he? Well, he is 27 years old this year. What? 27? About an hour later, a car was speeding in the brightly lit Jing. Miss, are you happy tonight? Very happy, Su Xiaoxue said with a smile. That's good. Sorry to bother you, Auntie Lian. What are you talking about? Chu Yin smiled. She was very concerned about the girl behind her. She was like a family member. I miss Mr. Wong. Ah, Chu Yin was surprised. I want to see Mr. Wong. Chu Yin didn't know how to answer. Give him a call, Chu Yin said. She took out her phone and quickly found the phone number, but she didn't rush to dial it. At this time, Mr. Wong should be awake, right? Ah, Chu Yin, who was driving, sighed. Beep, beep, beep. Hello, Xiaoxue. Hello, Mr. Wong. Hello, are you at school? No, I am on the way home. Where are you? On the hill. Yes, on Nanshan Hill. Mr. Wong, I miss you. There was a moment of silence. Shall I come to see you? On the other end of the phone, in the cottage on Nanshan Hill, Wang Yao said after a moment of silence. What? Su Xiaoxue thought she had misheard. I will go to Jing to see you. Okay. Su Xiaoxue grinned. She was as happy as a child. After hanging up the phone, Wang Yao also laughed. He didn't know why he had spoken so straightforwardly. He almost said that sentence without thinking. Annie Lian, Mr. Wong is coming to Jing to see me. Okay, Chu Yin said with a smile. Well, I have to prepare well. Oh, I have a lot of classes recently. Chu Yin, who was driving, looked at the girl through the rearview mirror and shook her head. Back home, Su Xiaoxue was so happy that she didn't fall asleep until very late. He is coming to Jing? Yes, that's what he said on the phone. He is coming to see you. Did he really say that? Yes, I heard him. No wonder this girl is so happy. In the evening, Su Xianghua came back very late. Why are you back so late? I was delayed by a meeting. Why haven't you gone to bed yet? Something happened to your daughter. Something happened? What's wrong? Are you not feeling well? Su Xianghua hurriedly asked. No. Song Ruiping told her husband what had happened that day. Ah, that's good. Let him come, Su Xianghua said. Hey, you still don't understand what I mean. Xiao Xue is falling deeper and deeper. It's good that she likes him. I think Dr. Wang is good, although I have only met him a few times, Song Ruiping said. Well, he has a good reputation, Song Ruiping said. What? You asked someone to investigate him? Su Xianghua raised his eyebrows. Of course, I have to know what kind of person he is. You can't judge a book by its cover. I have to be responsible for my daughter. Well, that's true. His medical skills are really good, and he doesn't have any bad habits or do any evil. On the contrary, he set up a charity fund to help a poor village child. He built roads and schools. Really? That's rare, Song Ruiping said. His parents have a good reputation in the village. They are honest and kind people. His sister works in the Agriculture Bureau and has a good reputation. She plans to get married this year. My wife, it's a pity that you don't work in intelligence, Su Xianghua said with a smile. Chapter 661. My daughter likes someone. I have to check it out for her. I'm worried, Song Ruiping said. Song Ruiping said. It was an exaggeration to say that she regarded her daughter as more important than herself. As long as he is a good person, we don't want anything from him, Su Xianghua said. Okay, Song Ruiping said. Given their family background, finding a son-in-law of equal social status was both easy and difficult. There were only a few families. The key was that no one had caught Song Ruiping's eye. Thousands of miles away, on Nanshan Hill, Wang Yao stood in the herbal field and looked north. Since he wanted to go, he would go and have a look. He hadn't been to Jing for a long time. To be honest, Wang Yao didn't want to go to that place. He didn't like the bustling city. Jing was a place of wind and clouds, a place of dragons and tigers. Heroes were judged by their successes and failures. In a hotel in Lianshan County, two men. How can there be such insects in such a small town? The man asked. Besides, these two insects are not the same. They are not the same, but there are similarities. I can probably guess what the insects in the hot spring are, the man said. Because of the geothermal heat? The man asked. Yes, because of the geothermal heat. Some insects have changed, the man said. These insects contain heat poison in their bodies. This kind of poison is quite strong. Haven't a few people in the village been poisoned? After leaving the mountain village where Wang Yao was, the two of them went to Lijiagu. They successfully found another kind of insect on the mountain near the hot spring. It was poisonous and strong. The insects in the mountain village may be a variant of this insect, the man said. Variant? But the forms are different? The man asked. Variant? It is possible that the form has changed greatly. What about the poison? The man asked. It is not the same, the man said. When he said this, his body couldn't help but tremble. Brother? The man asked. Well, it doesn't matter. As he spoke, his face became very ugly. It seemed that he was enduring some kind of pain and was very depressed. After a while, he breathed a sigh of relief. This poison is really a bit overbearing. He was testing the poison with his own body. After successfully capturing these two kinds of insects, the first thing he did was to bite them in the hot spring in a leaf family ditch to feel the venom of the insects. He reached out and looked at his wrist. There were two obvious bites. Due to the influence of the geothermal heat, these insects mutated and produced toxins. They also became very irritable and would actively attack any other species. The people in that village haven't clearly realized the horror of this kind of insect, right? The junior brother took out the wooden tripod with a smile. Should I try it too? No, I can still suppress the poison now. If I can't, I'll have to trouble you. If you want to try, You have to wait until I'm stable. All right, the junior brother said. I can't wait. The night slowly passed. Early in the morning, the sun shone on the earth. On this day, Wang Yao hung up the wooden sign that the library was closed. Why is this doctor so stubborn? He doesn't want to see the ice crystal. The patient who came to the clinic said. Well, I know, the junior brother said. Compared to the past few days, there were fewer patients today because Wang Yao had set up a Weibo account. Most of the patients who had come to see a doctor once knew about this. He would notify them on Weibo in advance when he would close the clinic. This was to avoid the situation where the patients were unable to receive the diagnosis and treatment as much as possible. Of course, there was no guarantee that everyone would know about this, so today's situation occurred. Let's go. Although these people were angry, there was nothing they could do. They turned and left. At this time, Wang Yao was actually in the clinic. The door of the inner room was open. He could also hear the conversation of several people outside. He planned to use a day to organize the medical cases. For this purpose, he specially bought a high-quality computer, a portable hard disk, and other tools. When these are organized, I'll go to Jing. The medical cases were organized very quickly. Because there was no one to disturb him, it took him less than a day to organize the medical cases. There was one more thing that needed to be solved, which was the patients in the mountain village. He decocted the medicine for them overnight. The next day, he gave the medicine to them and checked their bodies. All 3 patients were recovering well. Are you going to go out of the hospital? Zheng Weijun asked. Yes, I'm going to Jing. I'll have to trouble you to take care of the things in this mountain village. Okay, don't worry, Zheng Weijun said. Because there were many trees planted on the mountain, they needed to be taken care of. Therefore, he told his family. I'll live on the mountain these days, Wang Fenghua said. You don't have to live there. You just have to take time to have a look. Let him live on the mountain, Zhang Xiaoying said with a smile. I can take care of the family alone. Well, okay. After these things were ready, Wang Yao walked around the mountain again. He carefully checked some things that needed to be paid attention to in advance, especially some things on the mountain. Some of the herbs, mainly the licorice roots, had bloomed. When the business was urgent, they might reproduce and grow. They needed special attention. I know, Wang Fenghua said. After all the arrangements were made, Wang Yao boarded the plane to the north. Hey, you didn't say who you're going to see this time. Did you say you're going to see a friend? Hey, do you think it's the girl who came last time? The very beautiful one, Zhang Xiaoying said. Don't make wild guesses. Hey, I have to hurry up, Zhang Xiaoying sighed. In Jing, the sun was shining. People came and went. Cars and horses were like dragons. It was still prosperous. The pace of life in the city was too fast. This was what Wang Yao felt. Looking at the hurried flow of people and cars made people feel an inexplicable sense of pressure. At that time, the city was also a place that people yearned for. It was a 1,000-year-old ancient capital. It had opportunities, wealth, and no people. A large number of people were reluctant to go back. Even if their lives were poor, they were not willing to go back. They would rather earn a salary of 5,000 yuan a month and work like a dog than go back to their hometown. Even if the salary there was similar, the pace of life was much slower and the housing prices were not so high. Was this persistence or stupidity? Who could say for sure? Wang Yao got off the plane. He looked at the time and sent a text message to Su Xiaoxue. I've arrived in Jing, at Yinjing University, in a teaching building with walls covered with creepers. Yeah, a girl as beautiful as a fairy clenched her fists happily. Her beautiful eyes narrowed into the shape of a crescent island. What are you doing? Her friend next to her was surprised. I'm not telling you. Then the girl, who was usually obedient, raised her hand and asked for leave. The reason was that she was not feeling well. Well, health is important, the old professor said with a smile. Such a lovely girl must be allowed to ask for leave. Just like that, Su Xiaoxue left the classroom. Looking at her light steps, it seemed that she was not feeling well. Then, she skipped class for the first time since she entered the university. Hey, Auntie Lian. Miss, where are you going? It should be class time now. Great, Dr. Wang is coming. He's at the airport. I'm going to pick him up. Chu Lian was surprised. He's coming? So fast. Auntie Lian, Okay. Chu Yin drove the car. Su Xiaoxue, whose face was full of happiness, went to the airport in Jing. Silly girl. Miss, how long will Dr. Wang stay here this time? I don't know. He didn't say, and I didn't ask, Su Xiaoxue said. Oh, do you still let him live in that small courtyard? Let him live wherever he wants, Su Xiaoxue said. Okay. Chu Yin didn't ask any more questions. In this way, there was no need to say anything more. Even if Wang Yao proposed to spend the night with her in the mountains, she would probably agree without hesitation. I have to tell Mrs. Wang. At this time, the traffic in Jing was not smooth. It was almost one of the most crowded cities on the planet. It's so slow, Su Xiaoxue said in the car for the 7th time. Dr. Wang must be impatient. Soon, it will be better after this section of the road, Su Xiaoxue said. Chu Yin smiled. Wang Yao was waiting at the airport. In fact, he could have gone to Yinjing University by himself. However, Su Xiaoxue insisted on picking him up, so he could only wait there. He had nothing to do, so he simply walked around the airport. This attracted the attention of the security guards. They asked him a few questions and made sure he was not dangerous before leaving. Jing is really different, Wang Yao said. Dr. Wang, a pleasant voice said. He looked in the direction of the voice and saw a beautiful voice. It was not an exaggeration to say that she was young, passionate, and beautiful. After going through the terrible pain, God seemed to have made up for all the missing love in the past. Dr. Wang, I'm sorry to have kept you waiting. Su Xiaoxue almost trotted all the way. It's okay. Thank you. Welcome to Jing, Dr. Wang, Chu Yin said with a smile. Thank you. Let's go. Okay. They got into the car. Chu Yin drove. Su Xiaoxue and Chu Yin sat in the back. How long are you going to stay this time? About a week, Wang Yao said. A week? Su Xiaoxue quickly thought about how to ask for leave to accompany Wang Yao. Do you have a lot of classes? Not much. Not much, Su Xiaoxue said with a smile. Do you still want to live in the small courtyard? No, I want to find a hotel to stay. That's not appropriate. Why don't you stay in the small courtyard? Chu Yin asked. For the Su family, Wang Yao was a distinguished guest. They had to treat him well. It had been like this before. Now, with the relationship of Su Xiaoxue, they had to treat him well. I don't want to live there. Let's find a hotel. Okay. Chu Yin helped to book a hotel. You're tuning into the Warrior Lore YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.